Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Hey, everybody. Thankful to you all for showing up. Let me quickly see who is here with us tonight. I see that there are some people that I haven't seen in a while. Mr. Red Jack is not here at the moment because he had to go to work early. We spoke earlier, but hello to you, of course, as always. And thank you so much, Mr. Red Jack. And Comic Boston, so lovely to see you, sir. Very happy New Year to you as well. Be joining in at least for a little while today. Wow, that's exciting. It's been a few weeks that we haven't had you. So and you're always well missed. It's always very noticeable when you're not in the chat. So I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. And Lowell, what's up, Lowell? Good to see you, sir. Happy New Year too. I was actually doing my round of emailing right up until the last second, and you were like one or two people away on my list. I was like, oh my God, okay. I said, you know what? I hope maybe he'll pop in and say hello, and then I don't have to do the email. So don't expect the email. I'll save myself a little bit of time, although we should chat at some point again very soon. Thank you. Of course, Happy New Year to you, to your lovely wife and daughter as well. Thanks for chiming in and however long you're gonna hang out for. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. CJ, how's your rib doing, man?
Hi, CJ.
See, I asked Vivian to be here for you.
I'm not missing anything. I'm not late today.
But happy New Year to you and your wife. And you are now fighting a flu sinus infection in addition to the rib. I hope the rib's gotten better, though. Is the rib getting better at all? Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hang as long as you can. And by all means, leave. You got to be comfortable. That's all that matters. Don't if it's uncomfortable for you to hang, go lie down, do whatever you got to do, my friend. But great to see you. Happy New Year to you too, sir.
Happy New Year.
Number one Marvel fan. Happy New Year's to you as well, sir. Thanks for coming by again. And hey, it's a great day for a Jeff wedding. Good to see you again, as always, sir. And I thought I'd seen another. Oh yeah, here you are. Listening on your way home from New Year's Day Fest at a friend's house. Okay, very nice. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much, sir. And Kavi, what's up, Kavi? And good to see you, my friend. Doing stuff with your dad, but no worries, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon for sure. Cheers to you, and cheers again to you. Got one ready. The Rickster. Happy New Year's to you, to your family, to everybody, Rick. I know that you also, like Comic Boston, you've been, at least by me, certainly terribly missed. Missed you. What? You weren't able to drop in the last couple. Am I remembering correctly, Rick? Last couple of weeks, I think, right? Anyways, lovely to have you, my friend. Lovely to see you always. So for sure, always missed when you're not around, my friend. Yo, Jason, what is up, sir? Happy New Year to you. And yes, I'm very, very sad from last night's game, of course. So don't want to talk about it, but whatever. You can't win them all, I guess. But Marcus, what's up, sir? 2023 is all coming up roses. I mean, coming up colors, LGBTQ. All happy and bright. Hopefully that's what it is. Tricky Trapster's here. Wow, what is up, Tricky Trapster? I think you just missed Kavi. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for dropping in. John Brown, good evening to you, sir. Happy New Year. And Jason, another of one of the many Jasons. Happy New Year to you, sir. Glad to see you, my friend. Glad to see you. Thanks for dropping in. And I noticed I got a notification that you just put up another video, and I'll be going to check it out soon. I just haven't had the time yet, of course, with the New Year's stuff going on. And West. And Jason, I'd be happy to have you on I know you do pre-recorded stuff, but if you're okay doing live and you want to come by at some point later this month, would love to have you and be happy to talk about your new channel and as well as your collecting and whatnot. But yeah, let me know if it interests you or not. And yes, Wes, Happy New Year to you, sir. Happy New Year to your family. All the best and good health, especially for you, for everyone in this coming year, of course. And Murdoch, hey, what's up, Murdoch? Murdoch, are you still in Guantanamo, or have you been able to at least come back stateside for the holidays, or what's up? Let me know where you are. Tom, let me know if I'm saying it correctly. Tom, is it Kadzalovsky? Is that how you and your family say it? And if I'm wrong, then I apologize for butchering it. What can I tell you? And we have a message from Comic Guard Boston. He's speaking to you. I am so sorry that I couldn't catch you in Arwen Live last week. So glad I could catch you this week. Happy New Year once again. That's excellent.
Very nice to be here.
And
I actually talked to Ruben. I say, okay, just 5 minutes before I start. I said, oh crap, it's just me and you. He said, that's okay. We'll chat. We're just you and me. And that's it. And at least we say hi. And suddenly I see all these people. Thank you to be here. And
yeah, because 5 minutes ahead, usually there is nobody here. And that's what I told her. I said,
I was like,
5 minutes. Usually it's like usually it's like 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people are there, and then they start to trickle in after we start. So,
yeah, because I'm not like him. I cannot talk for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
I was like, how long I need to stay here?
Yeah,
I'll stay for 5.
She's always the one saying like, how do you talk for like 3 hours on end? And she knows that there have been some shows, guys, where we've done like a 2 hour, 2 hour, 20 minute or 2.5 hour show. And then with my guest, we stopped broadcasting.
They continue to talk.
Yeah. And then with the guest, I literally, they're like, a few weeks ago, I forget who was it with. Oh, I think it was a month ago. It was with let me see. Actually, I do it so often that it's definitely more than one person. But Ian, I don't know has Ian popped in? I don't know. But Ian, I think we got off the air, and I kid you not, guys, Ian and I continued our conversation for another, I think, 6 or 6.5 hours.
I woke up at midnight, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I hear somebody's talking. Something's there. And then, oh no, are you serious? But what's it? That's everybody guess. The longest time he was on the phone. How long? The longest. Guess. I'll tell you very soon.
How long was it?
7 hours. Over 7 hours. Long distance. You just pace back and forth. You gotta, 7 hours.
Hey, you got to talk to friends. You're passionate about stuff. And the time flies, guys. The time still flies, even all those hours.
Yeah.
Another Jason's here. Southern Comic Geek. Good to see you, sir. Happy New Year to you, and all the best to you and your family. Of course. He meant thanks all. Murdoch. So sinus, best thing I ever started doing. Oh, for sinus infections. Have you told me if you're back from Guantanamo? Oh, came back to Gitmo after going. Oh, you've already been home to see your wife. Oh, I see. Because you're there alone. Oh, wow. That sucks even more not to be with her. Wow. Well, fantastic. I'm glad at least you got to see her for a little bit. Wow. Yeah, because you're on contract. I get it. Well, glad to have you here, my friend. Thank you. And sorry, guys. I'm glad you guys are talking a lot. And so, Arwen, Comic Guard Boston said Happy New Year. And she says it back to you, Comic Guard Boston. She may have typed it. I'm not sure. Mr. Easy Go Lucky, thanks as always, sir. Thank you so very much. Yes, please, if you guys could just hit the thumbs up button real quick, I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much. And have a great dinner, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Happy New Year, and enjoy that New Year's dinner. I appreciate you taking the time and effort to come in and just say hello and to tell people to drop the likes. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. David Matheny, Happy New Year's to you too, sir. Good to see you. And Caesar, what's up, bro? Happy New Year's to you, of course, as well. And thank you for dropping by. And just a quick, again, just like last week for Christmas, guys, I don't know. I just had no idea if anybody would sort of be available tonight, or if they'd be having like dinner, like Mr. Easy Go Lucky, or whatnot, So I'm really surprised that there's 22, 23 fluctuating in here all right now. So thank you all. It's great. So Marcus says that those are squares, so they're just squares. Okay, so even for you, you're putting in squares, and so they're showing up as squares. Okay, perfect. But Comic Art Boston says yes, we're not squares. Yes, exactly. Well, to the outside world, we are. Jason, thank you. Exactly. It's the only solace. It's the only solace I could take from that. So, yes, thank God for that. Exactly, Marcus. See, it's hip to be square. So says Huey Lewis, and Tom Kadzalowski. Yes, sir. All right.
Congrats.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And by the way, Tom, let me move my beer over and just want to say. Ta-da! Here we go. Look at this lovely page.
Wow.
Oh, I was surprised we still had it, but excellent, sir. Just noticed it a few minutes before I went live, so didn't have time to respond to that. And I was hoping you'd come on into the chat, and I figured I'd show you that. So just to let you know that, I'll take care of that later tonight once we're done with the show. But yeah. So West is showing us grayed out people talking. Man, you guys are really starting to get me with these crazy emojis. You got the weird squares. Now you got a gray person with brown hair who looks like he's got the talking sound effect happening. Oh, I see. Right. Because you're talking. Okay. Yeah. Because I keep getting these messages later. He's talking about how I like to talk. For hours. Yeah, exactly. Nice one, West. I love that. I can't believe they seem to have an emoji for everything, That's really crazy. Murdoch, doesn't help that YouTube doesn't notify me about streams until 10 minutes after they... Really? That's interesting, because I get the notices literally at 8 o'clock. So as soon as they start, that same minute, that's when I get the notice. So it could just be one of those things where, your ISP or... has a slower connection and it just delays the message. Who knows? Or maybe not everybody that is subscribed to get notifications, maybe rather than being sent all at the same time, they're sent, this person, that person, that, like in a row kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know. So that does kind of suck for you, Murdoch. But on the other hand, it's also not really that difficult to remember that my show starts pretty much at the same time every single week, always on Sunday. So, shouldn't be too hard. But I still get what you're saying for sure, And so, Vivian, you are the moderating influence in my life. She is the love of my life, as my daughter is too. Yes, but for sure, as I'm sure you even would probably agree and sort of yes, agree with Comic Art Boston. She's the heart and soul of our family. So, yes, you're absolutely correct in every way. Yes.
Very nice of you.
Yes, thank you. I'm just being honest. Rickster says 18 hours. Okay, see, now again, I'm oh, you were guessing. That's okay. Was that your guess? You thought I would have spoken for 18 hours? My God.
18 hours?
You've got to be kidding me. 6.5 hours.
Believe me, 7 is long enough.
Hey, look at it. 6.5? 7? What?
Who say 7?
Yo, Mikey D in the house. Good evening to you, sir. Happy to see you. Yes, thank you very much. A very happy New Year's to you, your wife, the whole family, obviously. Where did I recently see a picture of your son? Oh, must have been when I went to the Facebook to wish you a happy birthday, right? Yeah, good looking kid, man. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for dropping by. And yeah, I hope you guys do well. And of course, best wishes for continued good health going into this new year. And what else we got happening here, guys? So Wes says, I talked to my comic friend John Verzel from 8 at night until 5 in the morning doing comic deals. Yes. So you see, that's the thing. I don't really even think that like there's much difference between like if you're wheeling and dealing or just shooting the breeze about various topics, because you know how it is, Wes, right? One leads to another, which leads to another, which leads to another. Yeah, and that's why I know it sounds a lot when you say, oh my God, 6 hours, 7 hours. But yeah, even those chats, I'm telling you, it feels like, yeah, you've been talking a long time because you've got a clock. You might be looking and seeing like, oh wow, it's been 2 hours, and then the next thing you know, it's, oh wow, we're at 4 hours now. But you realize after 4, you're like, well, we're still having a good time talking. The conversation's still flowing. And so you're like, okay, we'll just keep it going. You check with each other to make sure you don't have to, go to sleep.
Don't need to eat.
Go to eat, sleep, attend to the rest of the family, But yeah, and then next thing you know,
9 hours.
it's been 7 hours,
Oh.
But I agree. Back in my comic book days, when it came to doing deals, yeah, it's same thing. You're doing wheeling and dealing, 5, 6, 7 hours easily goes by. So
Okay.
absolutely, yeah, for sure.
So you're not special anymore.
No, I'm not. Well, I am special, but I'm not unique. I'm just not unique. I'm not.
No,
that's
after West.
no. Oh no.
Not
It's
not
me. It's
anymore.
me and West.
Yes.
It's me and West, but there's more.
So-
West is just the only guy who's so far admitted it. So
We got- trying to hush, hush.
I'm messing with your mind, trying to tie it up in cables, no less. Nobody's messing with your mind, my friend. No. And Sweet Page, yes, there you go. And Murdoch says YouTube is erratic. Yes, that's why I'm saying it, Yeah, the ISP needs ESP. Exactly. The wife is the engine that provides the power and the glue that holds it together. There you go. Well said, my friend. Derek, you're awesome, bro. Oh, so Derek and I spoke. Derek, how long did we speak, man? Because oh man, was it? Because it was pretty late. I remember because it was late for you, which meant that it was early morning for me, and you're on the West Coast. Was it? Did we do like a 2-hour thing, or did we do more like a 4-hour? But I remember it was yeah, okay. Yeah, 4, exactly. That's what it was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. Hey, if it wasn't for the fact that you looked like you were turning into a zombie and had to work the next day, I could have kept going for another 4 if you wanted it. So, anytime you want to wrap, like I said, we can chat anytime. I say we can chat 4 hours, 8 hours. You want to chat 4 times in the week, 1 hour each time, well, whatever. I'm game for anything.
It's available.
I can make myself available.
You're talking about comic? No problem. Don't need to sleep. Don't need to eat. Nothing.
Yes, Comic Art Boston. Thank you. I realized after. Yes, thank you. 8 to midnight. Yeah, that's what I think. It was something like that. Yeah. Don't laugh, man. I'm serious. Like I say, if you're game, I'm game. But like I was telling a couple other friends by email earlier today, because we had just had a chat together a couple of days ago, the 3 of us, and we spoke for, oh boy, what was it, like 6 hours?
Who?
The other day when I was on with Fred and Jason.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would say we were probably on for about 6 hours. This is a couple of days ago, and 2-3 days ago. And
after 2, I stopped counting.
And the problem is that Jason needed to leave an hour earlier. He was cool staying for at least 5, but he needed to leave an hour earlier. But he never said anything because he's too shy. That's what I've noticed about people when we have conversations, over the internet. A lot of people are too shy. They're having fun, and they're too shy to say, I gotta go. My wife's calling, or I gotta go tend to the dinner or the kids or whatever, So you just gotta say it. That's it. And I tell people, if anybody wants to ever rap even for 30 minutes, or you only have 30 or 60 minutes, just say it out. say it out loud immediately. Tell me immediately and say, okay, we know what time we have to work with. And that's it. We'll keep an eye on the clock and then we'll wrap it up right on time. No worries, So, you're laughing at being called a zombie. You were tired. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? When you can tell when somebody is up later than they usually are, the tired look, where it's like, oh God, I gotta go to bed, Yeah. That's kind of what I was saying, Marcus says, I tried to wear down a dealer over a few hours in a conference call, but then he turned us collectors against each other to get the best deal. Well, how many people were you? What do you mean? So conference call is in a conference telephone call.
Together, yeah.
So not on the web, but just on the phone.
Just a call, yes.
And then he turned you guys against each other. That's funny. After trying to wear him down for a few hours. So funny. CJ with his dial 1-800 hot art. So 3 people total. Okay. So you and a friend trying to wear down the dealer. Okay. Back in the 90s. Okay. And then he turned you guys against you. That's hilarious, man. So he had you and your friend like bidding against each other kind of thing, or basically, fighting instead of working together to get the best price kind of thing. He turned the tables on you guys, basically, is what you're saying. Yeah. So that's funny. So guys, I just wanted to say that again, thanks to everybody who's tuned in so far tonight. Thank you to those of you watching on Rewind. Really appreciate you. Happy New Year to all of you as well, and continued good health to all of you. Thank you. You guys that are here now, just wanted to say, it's 22 minutes into the show. We can cut it right here and let you all go and do whatever it is that you have to do or want to do. Or we could keep rapping, chatting, whatever. But you should know I didn't come with any packages to open. No more gifts. I've got no more. I didn't come up with any topics that I wanted to sort of touch upon. So there's not a whole lot of things planned up in my little noggin at the moment. But let me see what is Marcus saying. So he offered a better deal to one of us to break up the package deal offer. See, but that's the thing. That's how you know you're dealing with a good dealer, and by good I mean somebody who's he knows smart. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. It's like you can't take advantage of him. He knew what he was doing. No holiday bills to open. Yeah, no, I paid them. I like to pay them, right? Like, because most of the bills are due late in the month, and I like to pay them as soon as I get them. I don't like them hanging out. So it's like
pressure.
Mike, gotta go for dinner soon. But what is your off the cuff 2-minute thought on what you feel 2023 will hold for the hobby? Hey, thanks, Mike, because that kind of helps on these types of shows where it's just kind of coming in cold, So good question. If anybody else has any questions, I'd be happy to give you my thoughts or opinions on it. So, I don't know. It's kind of hard to know where it's going because honestly, I think if I had to say anything, my gut feeling is that it's business as usual. I do feel that things, for the most part, will continue how they've been. Yes, thank you, Comic Art Boston. Yes, I feel so too. I need a few questions or topics, to be brought up by people. Otherwise, it's kind of like it'll just sort of go silent,
Since I'm leaving very soon.
Especially since this lovely person here has
more than 5.
has to leave, and she said she'd only stick around 5 minutes.
I was like, that's 22 already.
But let me put Mike's comment back up. So yeah, Mike. I mean, that's I feel more or less more of the same is what I feel. And when I say that, I will say yes. That also includes the fact that you're probably thinking, oh, but we've seen some weakness in prices on certain pieces here and there, whatever. So yeah, I think there will be pieces where all of us sort of think, yeah, ooh, that kind of didn't go as high as I thought. And pieces that like sold for, ooh, it sold for less than the last time it sold, But ultimately, I think that on the whole, my view is things will stay strong, steady. I think the auctions for the most part will still stay strong, steady, So yeah, those are my thoughts, man. If you're still there, let me know how you feel. I have a feeling that you asked because you're thinking maybe this is the year things finally kind of tail off or sort of slow down, but I'm not sure. Let me know. We're up and staying. Good evening and Happy New Year to you and your family, sir. Thanks for dropping in. What is everyone's opinion on trimming a page? Wow.
Okay, I'm leaving.
Okay, and
Happy New Year to everybody. Continue to talk to him. And thank you for being here. And I'll see you next year. I will show up at Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, there you go.
Here you go. Bye.
Bye, honey. Yes, wise are long suffering. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, thank you for the question, Jason. I will get to that in a second. Let me tackle We're Up and Staying. We're Up and Staying. I mean, I personally, we'll see what everybody else thinks. I never physically alter a page. The only exception, because there are exceptions to every rule, I have made in the past is when I purchased, I got my hands on like an unpublished sketch of sorts. And the sketch had been done on really like, not only sketch paper, but like a how do you call it? Miscut? It wasn't square. It wasn't rectangle. It just was really weird. It's like it had been sliced around the edges somehow or whatever. Really weird. And so I took that and thank you. I took that and I sliced it so that it would become, square or, triangular. Just because otherwise it was just weird, wiggly sides. There was no edge. There was really no edge. It was just kind of like there was, 4 edges, but really crooked and badly cut, or whatever. So, but other than that, I would never trim a page personally. So I don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? Because yeah, Derek says Happy New Year. I'm assuming he's saying Happy New Year to you. And when you left. And Comic Art Boston, of course, said Happy New Year once again, Vivian.
Thank you.
And okay, so and she says thanks, guys. Thank you. So the pages, yeah, that's a standard size page, though. We're Up and Staying. So are you saying? I think what you're getting at is no. I know that no art will be affected. Well, I don't know, but I was assuming. Are you trying to say that you would like to cut off the 1/2 inch on the sides? So let's say a 1/4 inch each side, or the 1/2 inch on the one side. Wherever you got obviously more border. Because you want it to in order to fit it so that it slides in and out of a portfolio. Is that what you're trying to get at? Yeah, because I know, honestly, if it's literally nothing but white border, I don't care. Like if somebody says they did it, that wouldn't bother me. And I know it sounds almost hypocritical in a way. It's weird, right? But I just feel like as long as I'm not the one doing it, I'm good. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem if you said that you did that, Yes, okay, exactly. I would say, yeah, kind of like RG, do we know each other? RG, who's RG? Do we know each other? Let me know. Happy New Year to you, though. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, like RG says, right? You could also just buy bigger portfolio, but see that the problem with that suggestion is that nobody wants to buy a 48 slot portfolio when if you're in a situation where you're not likely going to have other pages that big come in, right? And just to have one piece, so I kind of do understand it, you know. Oh yeah, well, Rubenstein, I'd be worried about damaging it trying to trim it. No doubt. I would say if you did it, I'm not telling you to do it or suggesting in any way that you should do it. But if you were to do it, I would certainly suggest strongly that you go to a framer. Like if you have a private framer, like a frame shop, they tend to have a cutter. And if you just say, hey, listen, you know, I have this at home in a cheap frame, maybe, you know, to try to get them to help you, maybe say, I'm thinking of maybe framing it, but I'm not so sure yet. They usually have a cutter where you put the board down and they just drag the thing across and it slices it in a very straight line. Yeah, so try to use one of those. I wouldn't do it manually. Definitely not manually. Okay, so let me go back. A whole bunch of questions came in. So wow, this is going to be tougher because I got to go back to Mike. And Mike says, all right, so I think we'll continue to see strong results for top material. Miller Wolvie 114K. Wow. As per usual over the past 2-3 years, but the lower to mid end will slow. Okay. Somebody asked me, we were talking about this this past week, and I said, you know, it's funny that most people will say when they feel something is going to slow down, they always say, oh, the top end stuff will always continue and the mid to lower end range will slow. And even I used to be one of those guys, right? But I think a little bit differently now. I think that it's not altogether true because I feel like the area, I think it could be the opposite. Okay, Mike? Like I think some more of the really high-end stuff will continue to slow and drop to lower prices than past sales because of how high that high-end stuff has gone. Whereas I feel, you know, when you're in that mid-low range, like let's say anything in the, you know, $50 to, I don't know, $3,000 to $4,000 range, let's say, that material still has, I believe, the largest amount of collectors that collect that stuff. So I think that's the price range which has the most amount of collectors buying it. And therefore, I feel that will help support that type of material. You see what I mean? So, but I think there will be, again, anything that slows down this year, I think it'll just be, you know, nooks and crannies, so to speak, you know, here and there. I think it'll be here and there, little bits and pieces. But I do believe you'll see that at pretty much every price range. So that's how I feel, you know. All due to perceived economic slowdown. Yeah, economic slowdown. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm still waiting to see what happens with that. But as I've said this before, yeah, who knows exactly? I've said this before, right? On this show multiple times. Marcus can attest. You know, we you know, he and I have been around since the 90s. We've seen 3 really, really bad economic events happen, you know, in the last 25 years. I mean, I'm talking, they're so bad that they affected, you know, people worldwide, not just the United States or Canada, you know. And that didn't really do anything, you know, other than, okay, maybe people are like, they halt their buying for a few short months, right? Just to see like, hey, what's happening? What's going on? What's going to go on? Am I going to lose my job? Is, you know, is anything bad really going to happen? And then typically, you know, within less than a year, usually, you know, 8 months, 9 months, or whatever it is, things are up on the upswing again. And everybody's, you know, and I don't mean in the economy. The economy can still be problematic, but within our hobby, it just seems people are just, oh, we're right back into it, just where we left off, and we're continuing where we left off, you know. So that's it. But like you said, who knows, man, you know. Jason, so would you buy a single page if it had been cut from a single panel if it had cut from a page, if it was a favorite artist or character? The quick answer, Jason, is never say never. Although I've never been really a fan of what do you call it? Oddball sized pieces. So never personally been a fan of oddball sized pieces. So for that reason, I typically wouldn't buy it. But especially if you're talking about a mainstream comic page, like an 11 by 17 comic book page, I don't think I would. But again, exceptions to every rule. Like if it was this famous page that we all remember, a high demand page, and it was the killer panel on that page, and the price was right, which you would think, since this kind of stuff doesn't usually happen in this hobby, you would think that if it happened, it might go pretty cheap. But if I felt it was going like too cheap, I could see myself, going for it. Let me know what you've seen out there, unless it's something you want to keep mum's the word on, to try to get it yourself, of course. Yeah, triangular art, exactly. Comic Boston says to Jason, it depends. In most cases, probably not, unless I'm really desperate for an example from that particular artist. Yeah, that's kind of more. I'm more leaning to where you are on that one. DC art in the 90s was on bigger boards. Exactly. That's the thing, Marcus. When We're Up and Staying asked the question, the first thing I thought of, and when he said 11 and a half by 17, the first thing I thought of is because I'm staring at it over there. I'm like, oh, mid 90s, even late 90s, DC stuff, right? Because all my any Grummet covers from that period that I have, I did have to end up buying a larger format portfolio because it was the only way that they were going to fit, so totally right on that. And okay, so let's see what else we got here. Okay, Rick, some people are idiots. With advance apologies to the trimmers. Oh man. And so there's no point doing anything to the artwork unless it is to genuinely restore something that has already been damaged. I agree. I agree. I think We're Up and Staying that, believe me, and I'm with you on how you feel. I've been in that situation where I came close to trimming myself large sized covers. I don't mean large as in large art, but like 12-inch wide or 11 and a half inch wide covers from DC, like Marcus was saying, DC covers from the 90s. Like when I first got my first one, I was so frustrated by the fact that it wouldn't fit into my portfolio. I came so close to saying, you know what, I'll take it to my framer and I'll just have him slice it or whatever, But I've always believed you shouldn't alter stuff, like the published pieces, at least not for that reason. I don't think it's a strong enough reason, just so that it fits better in the portfolio. Because it also reminds me of back in the day, like in the 80s and before the 80s, there was a time when, the art didn't have that much value. And many people would take it to their framer, and the framer, because the owner of the art just didn't really, they just treated it as, some kind of memento they picked up at a convention for 10 or 20 bucks. And they would allow the framer to cut pieces off of it to make it fit the frame better or whatever, and that's terrible. So for that reason alone, yeah, I mean, I've never been in favor of that. So I would say, don't cut it, but ultimately it's up to you. We're Up and Staying, So Jason has all sizes of portfolios now. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. Especially, see, look at that. We're Up and Staying. Jason, this is a perfect way to look at things, because I feel, Jason hasn't been in the hobby very long at all, couple of years, and even he has maybe dozens of pieces, Jason, like it's not hundreds. And even he has now, gone ahead and bought multiple size portfolios, so that it fits what he needs him. And yeah, that justifies buying more art to fill him. Exactly. So that's what I would say, if like friend to friend, We're Up and Staying, I would say, man, no, don't, I would rather you don't do it. That's what I'll and leave it at that, And Comic Art Boston. Oh yeah, that's the one that we just had. Asian Fun Comics in the house. Happy New Year to you, sir. Thanks for dropping by. He says nothing worse than putting a small piece of art in a massive portfolio. Yeah, I know that's the reverse almost of what we're talking about, right? That kind of sucks too. I know I hate that, but that's kind of why, if you're in those situations where you may have a piece that doesn't fit the regular size portfolio, and you also have at least one piece that is too small for a big portfolio, that's when I say, if you haven't done so already, buy the two sizes or whatever size you need. And like we just mentioned, because it like Jason said, it kind of, it gives you a little more justification for buying the portfolio, because you can now justify buying more art over the long term to fill it. So yeah, that's my outlook on it. So for your smaller pieces, Asian Funk, man, I would say, yeah, get yourself a smaller portfolio. And what do we have here? So Comic Art Boston says, with one oversized piece, just keep it safe by itself. That's true too, because if you truly felt like if it's only one piece you have that's oversized, you don't feel like you're likely to ever really buy much, if any, more oversized pieces in the coming years, I can understand. Yes, I absolutely also would not want to buy a large format portfolio just to fit that one piece. But what I would do is probably just keep it aside safely somewhere else. I'd find some way to sandwich it into between some safe materials, and that's it. So you could still at least access it easily to look at it on a regular basis, and or you can do what Marcus would do. He'd cut it all into panels, and then shove them into like those 9-card sports card sleeves that we used to put in binders for the sport card sets and the comic card sets. Just joking. I don't want anybody watching on Rewind to think we were being serious. No, Marcus does not do that, and nor does he condone it. Exactly. Are you okay? Listen. I figured I might as well show it since you brought it up. I am a closer. Thank you for noticing, West. I just wish they would have fit it so that it could have said only. It feels like it's missing, coffees for closers only. The way he says it, right? Yeah. But yeah, so I did want to bring this up too. Thanks for reminding me, Marcus. I thought about it while I was speaking, while I was first answering the question, and then I forgot because I went off on a tangent as usual. But yeah, Jason, that's kind of the only other exception I would maybe one day make. I never have, but I would certainly not hesitate if it was something I was looking for. So what Marcus is getting at is like, you can see the Prince Valiant Sunday strips back in the day when people would write to Hal Foster, tell him, oh, I love reading your strip every day or every week in the newspaper. Oh, if you could see fit to sending me one original one day, I would really appreciate it. And he and other strip artists would send stuff to these people. But because these Sundays for like Prince Valiant and in that same time period, Flash Gordon by Alex Raymond, they're so gigantic. The size of them are enormous. Obviously, he wasn't going to ship those to some random fans. So they used to cut them up. He'd cut them up in panels and send them a nice panel, Yeah. So for something like that, yeah, if I found one I loved, I would absolutely buy it. So, but if you're talking mainstream comic art, yeah, much less likely. It would have to be a really huge exception, like like I said, like a hot page, some really popular key page or something, and oh, this is the key panel on it, kind of thing. Yes, Rewind viewers, there he is. He's giving it to you straight. He was just kidding, of course. He does not cut up his art. There you go. Foster did that sometimes to give the fan. Yeah, exactly. And that was his prerogative. And again, remember though, Comic Art Boston, remember that was so long ago. Like the art only had sentimental value, really, if you think about it. You know, it was sentimental. It had no cash value. There was nobody out there taking it and finding people to sell it to or whatever, you know? So it was just something sentimental for the fans who liked reading the strip. Jason, I don't know if they have done it with original art, but I know they have cut up an Amazing Fantasy 15. Oh, I see. The comic book, a copy of the comic, and sold individual pages as collector cards. Seriously? But in the modern era, while it has been worth what it's been worth in the last 20 years, or are you talking back in the day? Mind you, it always had a lot of value. But I think I know. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. If what you're saying is what I'm thinking, it was like a super low grade copy, right? Because it's already in low grade, so they figure, well, it's so tattered, at least cover wise, right? That, you know what, maybe there's people out there who'd be willing to buy a piece of an AF-15. And so they maybe cut out the pages to sell them individually. You know, that makes sense. But again, that's an exception. Even in comics, that's exceptional. That's not something you would see happen normally, you know? Nikki B, happy new year to Nikki B, jumping in to wish us and the entire community the happiest of New Year's. Likewise, same as you, same to you, Nikki B, and to enjoy the hobby we're also passionate about. Exactly. And may this year go well, continue to go well for all of us. And those cheap ones get flipped the most. Cheap what, Marcus? The cheap ones. The cheap ones get flipped the most. Yeah. And yes, everybody, happy New Year's to Comic Art Boston, to everybody, of course. Let me quickly put up Nikki B's website. Everybody who doesn't already know, so this goes out mainly to those of you watching on Rewind, or anybody watching for the first time here tonight live. Check out, it's a Nikki B's sales show. It's an art sales show. Lots of fun. A lot of us appear in the chat. A lot of people you see here in the chat today appear there. And you can buy some great art affordably. There's affordable pages to be bought usually, and sometimes high-end art. So it's all good. It's a lot of fun. And that's on youtube.com/theexp Fridays, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. So check that out. And for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about when I say Nikki B, that's Nick Barucci, and this is the handsome fella pointing right at you. So there you go. His handsome face is there, as well as the day and time. So yeah, check him out sometime. All righty, let me jump back in here to you guys. And yeah, see, you helped me out with that last time, Marcus. Exactly, man. We went through it, and yeah, it really didn't. I mean, if you think about it, it didn't really affect the hobby at all, really at all. You know, so that's why I'm saying, yeah, more of the same, probably, most probably. That's what I'll guess for next year. You know, and moving forward in future years, I would think, you know, a recession, economic recession or not, I still believe, you know. I'm buying gold and silver now to combat inflation and as a bit of added security. Yeah, being Canadian and mining is natural resources is a big thing here. So a lot of my investing over the last 30 years has been in mining, including gold mining. And exploration, but yeah, I've never bought the metal. I bought it as a proxy through ETFs, but never physically myself. But if you're either way you buy it, it's always good to have a little bit as inflation. Just remember, gold is something that it ain't gonna make you, and it's never gonna make you rich. It's essentially just something that keeps you from going broke. And if you look at it that way, it's perfectly fine to have a certain percentage of it in your portfolio for sure. NSN Art, Mike, what's happening, brother? The answer to almost all our questions is depends. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Thank you for dropping in. And we got, okay, so what are you saying to Jason? One example is HD. Ah, yes, perfect example as well about the cut up art in mainstream art. But again, that also was back around the same era as the Prince Valiant stuff, right? The H.G. Peter Wonder Woman stuff. Yeah. So that's just what happened in those days, you know? Uh-oh, who's false advertising? Oh, yeah, nice, man, nice. Yeah, you know what? It's funny, Nick. I was considering. I was like, you know what? Should I dress up? Should I dress up like I did on the thumbnail? And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'd rather just be comfortable. I was like, nah, forget it. I already had to dress up that one time. That's good enough, you know. And excuse me while I open my beer. Just want to toast to everybody. Once again, Happy New Year. Continued good health. And good fortune to all of you this coming year. Cheers. And my lovely wife brought me some Ringolos. You guys know what that is? Like little, like Fritos, barbecued Fritos, but in rings. Thank you for allowing me to take a sip of drink. Oh, Mike's in the house. Good evening, Mike. Good to see you, sir. And of course, Happy New Year to you too. Thanks for dropping in. Just ask for a bigger portfolio next time you buy a piece from Anthony. Yeah. Mikhail, good evening, sir. Or good, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's evening. It's early or late evening for you now. Yeah. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. Happy New Year. All the best to you, to your wife and the kids. Yeah, I hope you have a prosperous New Year and the best, especially for health, to all of you. And he says, Happy New Year to you too. Yeah, there you go. And I think that's what I'll do. What we're up and staying, just get that portfolio. You think you'll buy the portfolio and just, you know, I mean, listen, if you think about it this way, you know, if it costs you 50, 60 bucks or whatever the heck they go for here in Canada, they're a lot more, expensive than in the States. But for those larger ones, yeah, I mean, or maybe you're talking about keeping it in between something. Or what do you say? Or maybe it would make a good YouTube video of me trimming art. A good video to piss a bunch of people in the hobby off, probably, more likely than not, you know? That's funny. And yeah, Rick, but 13, they're not cheap for us. We're up in Staines, a fellow Canadian. So they're more expensive. I think the last time I saw one of those 13 by 19s, I think it was like 65 bucks. But again, having said that, I then have to also play the devil's advocate, you know, and say it is only 65 bucks. You know what I mean? So if you look at it that way, we're up in Spain. It's kind of like if you think about the money we spend on the artwork that we're putting into the portfolio, even if it was only going to ever be your one and only large size piece, you know, that you ever bought ever. I mean, is it that terrible that you spend the extra, even if it is 65 Canadian dollars or whatever, you know, just to protect that one piece? It's probably still worth it. Now, if you're telling me it's a page that's only worth $100, $200, then I kind of understand you not wanting to do that. But if it's more valuable, you know, and into the several hundreds or more, I would say probably still worth getting, you know. And so yeah, let me know what you mean by when you say that you think that's what you think you're gonna do. Let me know, Mikhail, what you mean by we portfolios, because let everybody know, because I've not heard of them. I don't know what that is. We portfolios are the best. Give us a little bit of a rundown on what that means. And then you're saying spend a bit more on the polyglass Etoya and use mounting corners. I don't like mounting corners, though. A bit of a pain in the ass too. Oh, but for odd size pieces, yeah. maybe. Okay. Number one Marvel fan says that he has poster size portfolios that you keep larger pieces in. Okay, yeah, whatever works, right? I can't say I knew that there was poster size. Or by poster size, are those the ones that would fit the double page splashes? Because posters are usually what? A lot more, right? Like if you're talking movie posters, what, it's an average of 24 by 36, I believe. Do they actually have portfolios that large? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Tarzan. Oh yeah, we're talking right. Tarzan, Prince Valiant, yeah, both. The Rickster says Frazetta sketchbooks got cut up into irregular pieces. Really? Wow. Like for what reasons, Rick? The sketchbooks got cut up into irregular pieces? Okay. Oh, you mean like cutting out each individual plate, so to speak? So right. I guess it's each page. I would think. Yeah, exactly, Marcus. Marcus is, of course, referring to what I was saying about, would you buy a cutout panel from a mainstream comic? And yeah, exactly. I mean, for something like that, for sure, I if I could afford it, I absolutely would go for that. Something like that is such an extreme example, though, in terms of an exception, right? It's so coveted that even if it had only appeared when it did those years ago as an individual panel instead of a page, I mean, I'm not going to bother wasting my time guessing what it would have sold for. I don't know, but a lot of bidding activity would still have happened on that because it's that coveted, right? Tom says lots of talk about portfolios. Am I the only one who actually hangs comic art on the walls? Nice. No, it's just that the majority of people in the audience here tonight are active collectors, what I call active collectors. So these are people who, we tend to, I don't want to define it by specific time frames, but I'd like to say we are active enough that we're constantly on the lookout to keep adding to the collection. So, whether it's, you're on Comic Art Fans every day looking for art to buy, or you're looking on dealer websites or what have you, so that's the thing, Tom. So those of us who buy as often as we do, some of us have art on walls, some of us don't. It's true. But those of us who are active, buy enough stuff to where even if all of us wanted to put stuff on the walls, most of us have way more art than we could actually fit on the walls anyway. So portfolios are a necessity regardless, no matter what, So there you go. There's your answer. And yes, I know you were half kind of joking or whatever, but no, that's what I said is totally true though. That's just what it is, Some do like to hang. I know many collectors who have never hung a piece. Look, even me, I've mentioned it before. I have, I think, in the neighborhood of like 35 pieces of art hanging on my walls throughout the house. Not a single one is comic art. Okay. It's not comic art. Nothing against comic art. It's just I'm into different type of art as well. And they're paintings, and I'd rather have colored painted art on my walls. So that's what I filled my walls with. And my comic art is all in dozens and dozens of portfolios. So that's how I do that, And I think that's the same for a lot of people. So or as Marcus says, some of us run out of wall space. It's true, because a lot of people don't start off with that much to begin with, right? Thanks, Jason. So yes, a low grade AF-15 it was. Yeah, thank you. That's what I figured. And number one Marvel fan says, so he's got 62 pieces on the walls. Oh, nice. Wow. Almost twice as much as me. That's crazy. Mind you, a lot of mine are larger, so it takes up enough room that I couldn't fit more. But still, yeah, that's amazing. 62 pieces, rest in Baroque portfolios, and what Anthony sends me. Okay, okay, interesting. Wow. So there you go, Tom. there's a guy who's got walls full plus portfolios full. So, oh man, we could probably be here for another hour just talking about this particular subject. Wow, I knew you had some, Mikhail. I wasn't aware that you have all. Wow. So I just want to say, just because you brought it up, I just want to say my thoughts on it. Because I've known for many years. I've known people for many years. I mean, going back to like early 2000s, I want to say like about 20 years, maybe slightly over that. When I first heard of people that I knew in the hobby saying that, oh yeah, I put stuff on the walls, but they're only copies, you know. And yeah, like part of me says, yeah, that's cool, especially if it's a good quality copy, right? It's cool, but I'm torn between. I'm torn about it. I'm torn about the from that idea. I'm torn about the idea because of the fact that I feel when you do that, I just feel like since the originals, I'm assuming. Well, you tell me, Mikhail. Are since your copies are on the wall, does that mean the portfolios are like in safekeeping? Like in other words, a bank or something like of that nature, where it's you know you can't just access it like this when you want to, or do you just have your portfolio sort of sitting there and you can pull them off the shelf at any time? If it's like that, I guess I'm okay with it. But if it's that they're like in a bank or you know something like that, and so that type of safekeeping, I'm torn because I feel like when you hit that point that you do that, I always felt like, aren't you going to feel? Don't you feel then at that point that you're no longer really a collector? You're more of a long-term investor. And again, we've had this chat on this channel many times. I'm okay with people being long-term investors, so I'm not saying anything about that. But since you are a collector, I know you are. I know you love the art. If you have it packed away somewhere, and I should probably try to find if you've answered my question. I was joking. No, you bastard! Don't do that, or at least put a little winky so I know it's a joke. Okay, but this it's still we can still kind of talk about this a little bit, right? Because it is an interesting thing where, like I said, okay, who agrees with me? Who agrees with me? Who thinks that if you put copies on the wall, so all copies, no originals, and will you specifically take your originals to those copies and put them in safekeeping? Let's call it a bank, okay? Do you who agrees with me that you would feel like I do, which is I would feel like I'm really more in terms of original art collecting. I'm not a collector anymore. I'm a long-term investor because I'm buying it, scanning it, copying it, and then immediately putting it into the bank. So I'm never going to see it. Yes, you can say I'm seeing the copy, which is exactly the same image, whatever, but you're not looking at the original. So that's how I feel. I couldn't do that. I could never do that. And I have friends who do that. But I just couldn't. I find it it would feel more like what's the point of having the original? I actually think I would take it a bit further and say, you know what? The art's so expensive these days. If I was a guy who was already into hanging copies on my wall, I would then even consider potentially buying art just to make those copies, right? And obviously, you're going to go to the trouble of find the best possible copy place that'll make you the best copies, right? Sure. And then once you do them, you keep them to frame and hang. But then I think I would consider, okay, at that point, there's no, I don't know. I don't know that there's a point for me to keep the art in the bank. Let me sell it off, or let me keep it in the house, maybe a year or two, right? As a long-term investor, and then cash out, just to keep bringing your cash flow back in. So your money always comes back quicker. Or who knows, maybe even buy the art, make the great copy to put up and hang. And I don't know, then maybe not immediately, because I think you'd have a hard time trying to resell the originals so quickly after buying them, because people start thinking like, what the hell's up with this guy, right? They're going to be like, what's wrong with the art? Why does he keep selling it as soon as he buys it? Yeah, but I would certainly consider that, hey, maybe you if you're going to put copies on your wall, you might have to consider also, heck, like I said, buy the art just to make the copies and then sell them not too long after. So collecting never really costs you any money. You get your money back in quickly, and then your walls are full of, all the art, all the cool pieces that you ever wanted to buy, and you can collect that way. So I don't know. It's something to think about for some people, I suppose. Let me see. Oh, what else we got here? Let me get this one. Comic Art Boston says, Jason is a single foster panel. Unobtained as content. Are you showing it? Because I don't think you can attach attachments. I don't know what you're trying to show him, but that's okay. Yes. Well, yeah, we're going way back here. EXP. Yes. Friday's a blast. And hey, CJ, how you feeling, man? You still holding up? I can't believe you're still here. I hope you're holding up. Your ribs and your flu-like symptoms. And yeah, Stanley of Dynamite. There you go. And comics and Silver Age comics. Let me see. Invest in maple syrup and cigarettes like Dino Bravo. Exactly. And make sure you get those cigarettes the illegal cigarettes from the reservation. That's then you're going to be headed for good times very soon. You'll live a long life, apparently. So then we got Jason saying, that's a great panel. Oh, okay. So I guess you must have, on my end, I don't see a link or anything. So that's weird. I guess maybe you were able to put in a link. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't see a answer to my question about Mikhail. And I don't know what Mesa Gold is referring to. Sorry. Behind. I'm trying to catch up quickly in the comments now. Let me see. Oh yeah, Anthony wants to give them out so you'll buy more art. Exactly. It's a wise way to do it. Well, I know that, it's like the Irish, you little wee bairn. Yeah, I don't think that's what he was referring to, though. Maybe he was. I don't know. Mikhail, what were you referring to with the wee portfolios? Maybe that is what you were referring to. I don't know, Rickster. So, Derek, you've got 18 by 24, and yes, at the moment they have both posters and original art. Cool. Okay. Yeah, it works. I mean, whatever fits in there, if it's paper and it fits nicely, it worked for multiple things, so. And so here we got, look at that. Yes, hoarders. Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to call anybody like hoarders, right? Because you've seen those TV shows and news reports about people who were hoarders, real hoarders who were found dead amongst all their hoarded belongings, right? And yeah, I don't think any of us. I've certainly never met or heard of a comic art collector who was a true hoarder by that definition that that you've seen on the news. That's just insanity. That's like an illness, But Maki Poo Poo, how are you, sir? Happy New Year. Best wishes for continued good health and more art in the new year to you, sir. And Happy New Year to your family as well. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, hoarding, collecting, tomato. Yeah. Okay, good enough. That's fine. And Comic Art Boston agrees. So there you go. Oh yeah, no. Okay. Plus, you have to invest in pillows to display the portfolios. But I know people do it. Oh no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, more people than I ever imagined would actually. Acid-free pillows. Can you get those from the My Pillow guy? Because no, actually, the My Pillow guy would probably sell you acid-filled pillows. You get it. For those of you, acid. The tripping out acid. Anyways, it's hard to know if a joke is funny or falls flat when there's nobody here in the studio to kind of like react to it, So some do it, especially for valuable pieces. Many do it, but needs be real deal on my walls, no fakes. There you go. I agree. Having said that, and again, because I love to play the devil's advocate, I will also have to throw out the fact that that if you're a very super high-end type collector, like if I had, anything from, I don't know, mid five figure and higher type pieces, even that stuff would start to worry me, just having them like that on the walls, just because of fire and whatnot. And when you say fire, people always say, oh yeah, but insurance. Well, no, that's not the point, right? It's fire, whether you get paid back by insurance or not. It's irrelevant. I'm worried is, the idea of that, oh my gosh, what if those pieces go up in flames? And now I'm sure, and then they're lost forever. And I'm sure you're probably going to throw back at me, well, yeah, but the other art that's cheap in your portfolios could also burn up. Yes, that's true. But certainly single pieces framed on the wall are likely to go up faster, much more quickly than compacted piles of paper in portfolios. So I still think there's a better chance, to rescue the cheaper stuff in portfolios. So, Mikhail says, my portfolios are in a dedicated closet and I access them all the time. Fantastic. Excellent. Love it. Love it. The print or actual comic has a nostalgia pull as well. So Marcus, though, are you saying that to say what's the point you're trying to make there? So in other words, why bother with the originals then, since it's the image that has the nostalgia, so therefore why bother buying the original? Is that kind of what you're trying to say? And RG, come on, man, don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Tell me if we know each other. Have you been here before? Or I feel like I've seen an RG in here, but a long time ago. Let me know if we know each other. I feel like it's weird not to know who somebody is. And the vast majority of us know each other and we're all friends. So I like anybody who's more new to come in to feel more at home and know that you're amongst friends, So it'd be nice to know. You don't have to tell me your name if you don't want to give it to me, but at least let me know if we know each other. What's a tough one, Nick? So Mike says, if the Xerox is on the wall, at what point are you content to sell? Right. Exactly. And sell the original and keep the original, the copy on the wall. Exactly what I was saying, right? Yeah. So the image is the same, but there's texture and little subtleties that are lost from us. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this, guys, this is Jason Ladwig, the fairly newer collector amongst us. And he even figures that out. So, yeah, man, if he knows that, I want to say, man, those of you longtime vets who love to just put copies and especially those of you who tuck away the originals in a bank, I don't know, man. But again, who am I to say, one way is the best, one way is not, or whatever. It's personal preference. But like I said, that's when it gets into, we can start talking about, are you really a collector at that point, or are you an investor? That whole topic. So, sorry, that's not the one I wanted to do. Okay, sorry guys. Rick, what do you think, Rick? I have some copies, color laser framed. Okay, so I don't have to worry about light exposure damage. Okay, Rick, though, is that because the configuration of the house vis-a-vis where the sun comes in through the windows? Is it because you have it hanging in spots where the sun does shine on that part of the wall? Because if so, yes, I agree. You should avoid putting the art hanging anywhere, that direct light hits it. Though you can mitigate it by, if you get professional framing with a museum glass. There's different types of museum glass, though, everybody, for those of you who don't know. I think 3 different types. The one that I get, it actually blocks only 70%, up to 70% of the UV rays. And I only get that rather than there's another one, the better one blocks up to 98 or 99% of the UV rays. I get the 70% one simply because my configuration is such that the sun does not hit any of the art on my walls. And so therefore I don't really need to worry about the UV light. And therefore it just saves me a little bit of money on, which here in Canada, especially, super expensive. So, and by the way, just to give you guys an idea for especially for those of you who don't typically frame their art, but are maybe curious what it costs to custom frame. I don't do Michaels. I got my issues with large stores like that, whatever, but I'd rather pay more. I find, I go to a small private shop. The owner is a master framer. And right, so you're definitely going to pay more than Michael's. I recently paid almost $300 for an 11 by 17 poster that I framed for my daughter. Yeah, that's up due to the whole COVID boom, right? It jacked up prices on everything. Pre-COVID, an 11 by 17 museum framed by my master framer. It would have been pre-COVID around 200. Yeah, so now it's like 50% more or whatever. So yeah, but those of you who love Michaels, yeah, have at it. So number one Marl fan says, I switch art out in frames though. I kind of wish I had frames that could do that. That'd be fun. Yeah, because you went 500 screen, use props for Marvel movies as well. Wow, so it all competes for the wall space. Yeah, first world issues for sure, man, for sure. Exactly. And Marcus, get a recreation done of it. Of which one? Damn it! See, now I'm coming too late to your comment, so I don't know which one you're referring to. Let me see. Hoarders don't use portfolios to protect anything. They just stuff things into the walls. Nice. The My Pillow guy has toxic pillows. Well, like I said, I don't know. I mean, if he's, if he puts a hit of acid into each one, that would already be kind of toxic. But listen, I don't know much about the guy other than he's wacky. He's a wackadoodle, it seems, from what I can tell. Yeah, I'm not buying a pillow from him. So surrealistic pillow. Yeah, but I put portfolios next to my chimney kindling. Nice. Right. So, Tom, I'm a super high-end collector. I only buy Mike Perkins artwork, and nobody puts Mike Perkins in a closet. Nice, man. Nice. Oh, you're funny. All right. So, Jason, what are you saying? Okay. High-end art will be copied onto asbestos paper for proper display. We're here. We're all here together to help all collectors, especially newer ones. Come on in, learn from all of us, learn the best ways and the worst ways to do things. Why not? Try to figure out who's joking with their information and who's being perfectly serious. That's funny. Nikki B, tough one putting copies on the wall and whether or not it's more of an investor than, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Nick, right? That's why it is. It's a conversation in and of itself. You really can. You really can. I get if I could get 3 of you guys to pop in to the studio with me right now to want to talk about that, to discuss that, we could easily talk about that 20, 30 minutes, whatever. Because yeah, it's. But I like those kinds of topics because it's something that you can discuss, and there's going to be a wide variety of opinion on, So we got Marcus saying, well, it's the image from the comic you read that made you buy the art in the first place, right? So the comic and the image are what is burned in your mind and feeling. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree there. That's the truth. I mean, let's be real. I mean, the comic book, even though like comic collectors, before you ever find out about original art, you refer to comics as, oh, well, this is the original. This is the original, right? It's not a reprint. It's the original, right? But we art people know that a comic book is simply nothing more than a copy of a series of original drawings, or original boards that go together to make a story. So every comic book is a copy. Yeah. So for sure, it's all about the image that gives the nostalgia. The pieces I've copied and framed are pieces that will go to the grave with me. Okay. Extreme UV here in Utah. Okay. Well, no, yeah, but you know what I mean, Rick. Like, you could be, yes, in a very sunny location, right? So a lot of UV exposure, but your house could possibly be, situated and sitting facing a direction where the sun doesn't really hit much of, the walls that have art on them, So that's all I was saying. Mikey D still here, or maybe you left and came back. I only frame high-res, full-size color copies, and the originals go into my portfolios in a safe. No! But Mike, I'm assuming you're saying one of those home safes, not the safe at the bank, because at least you can access the art, the originals, if you want. I'm hoping. Rationale being that no concerns regarding theft, sun damage, and makes framing way easier. Because you frame and mat your own stuff. Okay. And you have an Epson workforce, which can print, 13 by 19 size, which is great. Okay. Goofus and Gallant. Okay. Also, I only buy art that merits wall space. Makes for a good vetting tool for me when I consider a purchase. Deters boredom buys. That's it doesn't work for a lot of people, but if that's what works for you, then absolutely a great way to do it, for sure. If it works, it works. You got to do whatever works for everybody. Has to do whatever works for them, right? So totally agree there. That's cool. And yes, okay. So Mike, Mike's confirming that it is a home safe. So yeah, that's I'm like, whatever. I'm okay with that. Again, I personally myself, again, I don't have comic art on the walls. It's paintings, but if I had room to put, and I decided to put comic art, I'd still put the originals. I just want to see the originals, But yeah, it's personal preference. That's all. But yeah, and everybody's situation is unique, and it does make a difference depending on how valuable is the art, and things like that do come into play, right, in the decision making process. So I totally get it. And you've tried to frame higher end artist edition pages, really, that I covet but will never own, and it never lasts. I always end up taking it down. Okay, can you tell us why, man? Because the artist editions are beautiful. We all know that. So why? I don't get it. What is it that it never? What do you mean by it never lasts? You mean the artist edition, when it's exposed on a wall, it fades or something? It gets ruined, or what's I need to know the deal with that. I'm curious. Okay. And you have to own the page to frame it. Yeah, sure, for sure. I would hope everybody does that, rather than I'm going to frame a photocopy of a page that some random stranger owns or something. That's a little weird, Marcus, you're saying the best art gets stored in the van. Nice. It's the safest place. The heart van. If it's the heart van, there's no better place. Inside, there you go. Inside a wooden box. Inside joke, just for those of you who don't know, inside joke. You had to have been here last week during the Christmas Day nighttime episode. That is so funny. Yeah, exactly. So good. Now I'll take it off the wall as I don't own it. So if I see, right, because you're okay. Yeah, you're talking about an artist edition piece. There's randomly because you liked it. You're like, oh yeah, I'll cut this out and put it on the wall because I love this page and it looks good, right? But then when you realize, man, I don't own the original, so it feels like a cheat, right? Like it feels like like yeah, you said it yourself, cheating. Exactly. Yeah, it's like it feels cheap in a way, cheating, both. I suppose Yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that. I will say though, Mike, kind of surprised, like, because even though, and I've said this before, people know I'm no longer like a comic book guy. I mean, I'm not a comic book like I don't collect back issues or whatever, right? But so I read trade paperbacks. That's basically it. I gotta say, the one thing that has always stuck with me, even though I lost my love for comics as a collectible, right? The one thing I've never been able to get rid of is that ingrained sense of condition. In other words, even though I know a trade paperback, it's just, it's to be read, right? With few rare examples, the trades are not worth more than what you paid for them, right? I still keep them in mint condition and I buy them in mint condition, right? If I don't get them in mint condition when they're delivered to me, if it's Amazon, depending on how much damage, may have sustained, I'll return it and ask for another one, So that's ingrained in me. I just can't get that out of my system. So it's not a value thing. It has nothing to do with value because, like I said, my trade paperbacks, I know that they're not going up in price, right? It's more of it was something that was always ingrained in me with books, even books like novels. When I buy novels, I buy a novel and try to keep it in mint condition. I always thought, well, what happens if it ever goes out of print one day, right? It goes out of print and it never goes back into print. I may never be able to get that thing again, right? So I figure the longer it lasts, the better off I'll be. And well, how do you make it last as long as possible? And the only way is buying it in mint. And when you read it, treat it, gingerly, like it's, you're trying to keep it in mint condition. And that's basically it. So that's it, Mike. So that's why I'm kind of like, do you not have that ingrained sense of I've got to keep things in mint? I mean, apparently not, because you cut up an artist. Like, forget a trade paperback, right? I would never even slice out a page out of my $20 trade paperback. You're talking about cutting out a page out of, what are they now, like $150 or $175 artist edition. So I'm like, wow, to buy an artist edition and cut a page out of it just so you could try framing it and see how it looks. Like, wow, that's like, I don't know what that is, but I wish I could be that way because I don't like the fact that I still have that whole condition consciousness ingrained in me. Given that I gave up collecting comics 30 years ago, I wish I could get rid of the condition consciousness part of me. I wish all my trade paperbacks could be ragged and raggedy shape, and so I wouldn't have to feel like I have to read them gingerly. I could just grab them any old way, shove them back on the bookshelf. Not to say that I in a careless way, but to not be worried about putting it back quickly or trying to force it in if it's in a tight shelf, so that I wouldn't worry if it ever did. I mistakenly bent the corner when I tried shoving it in a tight squeezed shelf, yeah, but I always do worry, so I'm always ginger about everything. I hate that aspect of it all. But so you only did it to the Burn FF, okay, and immediate. Oh, okay, so you did have immediate regrets. Yeah, I mean, listen, lesson learned though, right? At least, it could, you could have done something I mean, there's way stupider things people can do in this hobby, right? And to try to cut up or trim some really vintage expensive art or whatever. or somebody foolishly trying to experiment with restoration techniques that they learned on Google, getting a bit of Google information, or here on YouTube or whatever, yeah, that's that, yeah. So $175, it's expensive enough, lesson learned, at least, it ain't going to happen again. So that's cool. Stanley, my friend, you've come in late. Good to see you, sir. Happy New Year to you. All the best to you. Good fortune and health to you and the family for this new year and future years as well. Thanks for dropping in. So original art looks and feels way better than copies to me. Of course. I mean, I think even the people that copy them, right? Even the people that are making copies, I would guess like 99%. There's always an exception. Okay. There always has to be an exception to the rule. I would guess that 99.9% of the people who make copies to hang, even they would still agree with you that the original still looks and feels way better for sure. Yeah, I can't imagine anybody arguing that point, Wow, guys, 90 minutes in and I've hit 27 of you currently watching. Thank you to the 28. Wow. It's higher than it ever has been. Already 90 minutes in. Usually this is where people are dropping off. So thank you so much. Thanks for coming by and checking it out. Those of you who I don't know who have come in just to see what we're doing, and we're just hanging and shooting the breeze about whatever topics people are bringing up in the chat. So nothing in particular. We're all over the place. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very laid back and loose. And that's kind of like what I do try to do with all my shows, even when there is a theme involved, So yeah, thanks to all of those of you who are still watching and those of you who are coming in late. Really appreciate you all, man. Happy New Year to those of you who are just coming in. And so here, I wanted to tackle this one. Let me see. Yeah, so Derek's telling me about yeah. So you'd be surprised some of the out of print paperbacks end up going for high price on the secondary market. No. That's why I chose my words carefully, man. I did say with some exceptions, and those are the exceptions I was referring to, because they go out of print and then yeah, these guys jack up the prices and some people buy them. Yeah, so no, I'm aware, but I'm talking in generalities, right? Not the exceptions to the rule. Generally speaking, if you look at your bookshelf and you've got, I don't know, several hundred trades, I mean, the vast majority of them are worth probably right now whatever you pay for them, whatever the current cover price may be for a trade, Nikki B says, we also need to keep the art. Well, yeah, well, sure. Of course. Yeah, handle it with care. And I don't want to bring up, I don't really want to bring up this topic and get into I can bring it up, but I'm not going to get into it, especially since you never know if Jeff may still be riding around in his car in Las Vegas and listening to this still. But I do want to say, in general, you don't need to go so far as to get to that point where we're advising new collectors, hey, take care of your art. You want to take care of your art? You better get yourself a box of those rubber gloves and always touch the originals with rubber gloves, blah, 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 blah. Listen, before you're going to go handle your art, at the very least, maybe wash your hands, right? With soap and water, to make sure, there's no crud or whatever. Other than that, the art will last thousands of years. Everything else being equal, you're keeping it out of the sunlight and all that, keeping it in portfolios, taking care of it. Fingerprints alone, just holding it in your hands. Yeah, I can't tell you how many thousands of years it may take for the page to degrade or whatever, but yeah, who knows? The world may explode before we have to worry about, art getting destroyed just because we touched it without white rubber gloves. I think that's overkill. So, sorry, Jeff, if you touch all your art with rubber gloves. Now, if you do that and you don't mind doing that, that's fine too, I guess. But I'm a tactile person. I think most art people are tactile, and we like to touch. So that's it. But for paintings, I would say try to not touch the paintings. And it's a different medium. The finger, the oil in our skin can easily damage paint. Yeah, so definitely. But for typical standard bristle board pen and ink, as long as you have clean hands, whatever, you're good. But yeah, take care of the stuff. Don't knock it around, whatever. Don't bend it around. And like some people are kind of, you see some people at conventions, they just shove the art in boxes like they're comics. So you flip through it like standing up like it's a comic. It's bizarre. That stuff gets wrecked too quickly that way, Oh, yeah, sorry, that's the other one. So the visual difference between the copies that I make of my art, the frame, honestly, if I put both in front of you, you would never know the difference given the quality of paper printers. Listen, I don't doubt that. I agree with you, even though I haven't seen it. I haven't seen your copies. I agree only in the sense that I myself have seen different types of printings, whether it's paper, at home, like you're doing, giclée printing methods. I have seen stuff where I got fooled, and yes, I'm patting myself on the back here, everyone. I have a very, very well trained eye, and I've been fooled with certain printing methods where I thought I was looking at an original, and in particular, the giclée method. It only happened once. Okay, thank God. It only happened once. I didn't get screwed or anything. It's not like I was buying something. I was just looking at it, and it was a painting. And here's where the ultimate thing that sold the realistic look of it was that it was a painting that was printed in the giclée process. Okay, look it up. I don't want to have to start explaining that right now. But not just printed on paper like a poster, printed on canvas, stretched canvas, right? So canvas and then stretched onto a wooden frame. Oh man! So you when you have that awesome printing technology, and you're printing it onto something like canvas, stretched canvas, yeah, it really, really sells. Like it looks like you're looking at because the painting had texture, right? It had some impasto on it, so that's when the artist sort of lays on the paint thick rather than spreading it out thin on the board, right? He or she leaves thick chunks of paint. That's impasto. If the original has impasto and you copy it onto even paper, but especially onto canvas, and you stretch it on a frame, wow, it's fantastic. I thought I was looking at the original painting. I even asked the person, how much is that? Because I thought I wanted to buy it. And when they told me the price, I was like, why so? Like, what? So what's, I was so flabbergasted, and I moved in a little closer and realized, oh, wow, this is a print. And he's like, yeah, it's a print. No, it's not the original. Oh, wow, so yeah. So cool that your printer is that good. You got a good one then. That's excellent. We're up at Stain. I'm more of a gamer than a comic guy. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, I did not know that. That's the first time you're revealing that. Please excuse me while I eat a few of these Frito Ringolos. Been looking for a long time. A few days ago at a local store, the guy was asking $300, which is a fair price, but I couldn't do it. Nope. But you have no problem spending much more on comic stuff, and no idea why they're so different to me. But you're talking about what now here? So I've been looking for a long time. So you found the game you've been looking for a long time. Okay, so $300 for the game you're talking about. Fair price, but you couldn't do it. Okay. Oh, I see. You couldn't do it for the game. Oh, that's interesting. Excuse me while I take a swig. Cheers to all of you. That is really interesting. We're up in Stain. The fact that you're more of a gamer than an art collector, yet you balk more easily at spending these, relatively speaking, lower amounts on the gaming stuff than on art. Very interesting. I wonder if any other gamer in the chat might have some insight into why that might be. It's a part of your sort of character makeup, your personality, obviously, but what exactly? I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you about that. That's interesting. Mike, so you print on heavy matte artboard stock or super close, okay, which adds to the look. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you get the right quality printer, you get the right quality material to print on. Yeah, I know the stuff can look pretty great. Hopefully, if you ever make it out back to Jeff's house one of these years, and I can see you again in the summer or whatever, September at the art collector gathering. Hopefully I would remind you to see if you can try to bring one of those. I'd love to see it in person, And we also have here, sorry guys, and we're going through trying to scan all the comments. 90 minutes into a 7-hour conversation. Yes, sir. Yes, we're 5.5 hours away from the end. Don't worry, it's happening, everybody. Jeff's here. Should we leave it a bit and come back in a half hour? Now, Jeff, did you write that? Did you post this comment when I was talking about the white gloves? I hope so. That's funny. Nice. You see, Marcus, what you did? Look at this. So you make the joke, which it was a good joke. You just made me realize my wife's still like secretly listening in there. What are you doing? Go read. Go read. Stop paying attention to our show. Let the guys talk. Oh, coffee is for 7-hour closers. Awesome, man. Awesome. Yes, it is. Or sometimes 6, sometimes only 4. Only 4. Yes. Yes, Comic Boston. Excuse me. Taking a 2-hour break. Well, then, Comic Art Boston, I've been meaning, given how long we've known each other, I've been meaning to suggest we should talk. We should have a face-to-face verbal conversation at some point. That would be a very lovely thing for me, certainly. And, but now I know if we do, you're going to be, 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes in, Ruben. I think it's time to go. Nice and chill. What is our convo? Hopefully you're talking about our convo, because it certainly feels like it has been. It's pretty, man, I love this. It is a bit hard when the conversation stopped for a while back, and it was like, what else? Is there anything to talk about? And it's hard for me, guys. I in all seriousness, it is very hard when there's not at least one other person in the studio here with me. It's really hard because because all of your, of course I respond to all of your comments late, and it's easier when I say something to at least have one other person to respond back, right? So we can talk a little bit while I wait for the comments in the chat to come in, right? So it's really, really hard doing this by myself. It's not natural, obviously, because it's like you're having a conversation, like you're having a conversation with 25 other people, except the 25 other people are mute and they're, communicating in sign language, for instance, that's what it feels like. And I've got to be like, looking carefully. I don't hear a thing. So it's tough, but it's been going great. And I appreciate you guys hanging in, and it is halftime. So you're watching Steelers Ravens game. Okay. Or just about halftime. Okay. I keep getting these messages from the Comic Art L group notifications flashing on my screen all day long. Some people are complaining about there's a whole topic going on about artists who don't deliver on commissions, and that's always an interesting topic of conversation. Those of you who watched it may remember I did one of those. Was it episode 3 or 4 of my roundtable show, of which Derek was a part of, where we did the whole talk about commission collecting, and the pros and cons and all that. Yeah, so on the Comic Art L group, all day long, somebody bitching about Brian Stelfreeze, and I don't know, all these people are coming in and defending him, and you know how these things go. So it's this whole thing all throughout this broadcast. I've been getting these constant pop-ups covering up your comments in the live chat. So that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. Yes, I keep forgetting. Those of you watching, if you haven't already done so, would you mind just hitting that thumbs up? Looks like this. Would appreciate it. And for those of you who haven't done it, if you've been here before and you enjoy watching the content, it'd be great if you could hit the subscribe button and the notification or notify me button, and that'll always remind you when another show is coming up, or when I schedule a show. So if I schedule shows in one day, I can schedule shows for the next 3 weeks. I believe you get notified immediately today if as soon as I schedule them, and you'll be able to see them on the YouTube channel. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, if you aren't subscribed, that would be nice if you could do so. Again, if you like the content, if you like hanging out with pals and shooting the shit. So Marcus, what are you for the next hour? Ruben will be covering the War of 1812. The War of 1812, and that leaves us with what, 4 hours 20 minutes. Right. So it'll be like War and Peace. Then we'll do a little Dostoevsky after that, Crime and Punishment. Maybe we'll swing back towards semi-comic-ish stuff with Stephen King, and we'll do a whole hour or two of Stephen King's The Stand, the unabridged version, 1,300 pages. Whatever you want, whatever you guys want to talk about. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, can we get the 30 likes? That would be awesome. Thank you. And there's only one more to go. Oh, we got it. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you. I know people are not as reticent to hit the thumbs up as the subscribe button. But they're very forgetful. So you do have to. That's why it really, I tell people, it does help to keep reminding, because people don't mind, but even the people that don't mind, they tend to forget, So for those of you watching on Rewind, please, it would help also. Give me a thumbs up. And yeah, you guys too. If you keep watching on Rewind regularly, especially if you don't mind, hit the subscribe. And let me tell you automatically what content will be coming up, and you'll never miss a show. Hit the notify me button as well. Thank you. Caesar, no gloves. So you're talking about the white gloves that I was talking about, hopefully, right? Jeff, FedEx box for alt storage needs. Is that how you keep your art? I keep some of my inventory, like the artist inventory, because it gets shipped in boxes sometimes, and then so the FedEx boxes, and then I keep it standing in there, whatever. So I do have some stuff, but not my collection. Yeah, you keep FedEx boxes. Interesting. Okay. What are you telling me, man? I knew I shouldn't have eaten that PB&J sandwich before handling the original. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Very, oh yeah, very true. Comic Art Boston. Absolutely, right? All of us, all of the next generation, I can't even tell you how many generations, but many generations. So yeah, but like I said, as long as you're not eating these, right? Popping these in your mouth, like I am, and then doing this. Oh yeah, grabbing Mike Perkins pages that are in the process of being purchased by Tom Katzalowski. Oh yeah, let me rub this. Oh yeah, look at my fingers. Look at my fingers. Rub that. As long as you don't do that, don't freak out. I've only been touching the Frito things with my right hand. My left was washed when I started the show. All right. So yeah, see, Jason's saying Cheeto dust Keeps the oil from your skin. Keeps the oil from your skin from touching the art. Oh, so it's a good idea to eat Cheetos before we handle the art, because the Cheeto dust will protect the oil from the finger. That's excellent. Excellent advice. Excellent advice. And oh, baby, we got Nanya back in the house. Happy New Year, New Year to you, sir. Thank you for dropping by tonight. Brookie does that at San Diego. Hurts to flip through. Oh, you're talking about flipping so that you have to flip because it's standing up? Actually, I haven't seen Mike in person in so long. The last time I did see him, it was back in the days when it was just stacks of art all spread out on the table, and portfolios as well. Yeah, so I was not aware that he did the file flipping technique for artwork now. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Not what I would do, that's for sure. I wonder if there's a magical place where all the missing word balloons go. I wish, and what's funny, Rick? This is the sad part. So every now and then I get, you get a piece of art. I don't know if it's happened to some of you, I'm sure. And then all of a sudden, you put your art away and you look down and you see on the floor, you see some random looking, what do you call it? Word balloon or something, And I take it, I save it. Look at this thing. I'm thinking, oh, look, check this out. Okay. Cree. So you would think, okay, it's not a word balloon. It's a sound effect, and it's a pretty long one. You would think, oh, that'll be easy. That should be easy enough for me to figure out, where I put it. I could not figure out what it fell off of. Even though I had just looked at it, I couldn't figure it out. I went through it all. I'm looking. It didn't look like anything was missing. Go figure. So it's been there for years, by the way. So I'll probably never know. So even if there is a magical place for the missing word balloons, I guess if it's magical, though, you'd be able to just pick the one you really need, right? So then you wouldn't have to worry about it. But yeah, unfortunately, the magic just doesn't work, Yeah, exactly, Marcus. Bin diving. So funny, the only piece of my collection where I chose not to frame a copy is my new, the new Stacy Iron Man. That's a wonderful splash. What a great buy that was. Impossible to scan. Oh, really? But I scanned my Stacy art. Why was it impossible to scan? And then print. So it's impossible to scan and then print the color quality depth accurately. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I guess I can kind of understand, because before I hung up all my paintings that are hanging on the walls, I did scan them all. Okay, and I probably averaged about an hour and a half per painting, right? Because they got to be scanned in multiple pieces. Most of them were anywhere from 4 to 8 scans for the larger paintings, right? And then it's 2 to 4 for the smaller paintings. And yeah, it's similar to that, in that I would scan them, stitch them together, and yet somehow it's all with color. The scanner light effect, it has an effect on certain colors, right? So you just somehow can't, and on certain paintings, you just cannot get certain colors to get as accurate as you want them to be, or you finally get one of the colors you're focusing on really, really accurate, but in doing so, another one of the colors gets either it looks too light or too dark or whatever, and then that's inaccurate to the original, So I get what you're saying. Number one Marvel fan. I love the artist edition. They do want to make me frame them. Interesting. The Marvel covers edition is beautiful and out of reach for most. Yeah. Hey, man. If you want to give it a go and do what Mike did and slice it out and try framing them. But, try framing them cheaply, right? Maybe store-bought frames, that kind of thing to start off with. At least if you're going to experiment, in case you have to see a total loss, well, okay, then, what's the total loss going to be? All right, the cost of your artist edition plus the cost of the store-bought frame, and probably $20 or whatever. So it's not, at least it's not a terribly expensive way to experiment with that idea, So Nunya says, no mere machine can capture the magic of Stacy colors. Yeah, it's not easy for sure. It's not easy. So Warpenstein, you're telling us about that game that you passed on, the old PS2 game, Xenosaga 3. Okay, I don't know. I'm not a gamer, so I don't really know much about that stuff. Can't bake on Gammon. Okay. And I collect Nintendo Famicom games. I don't even know what that is. I know Nintendo, but I don't know what Famicom is. No need to tell me either, Maki Pupu. But yeah, it's cool. I like that. Art collectors, we collectors tend to be often collectors at heart, not just the art, right? A lot of us, I've noticed, do collect more than one thing, So that's always fun. It's interesting. I was thinking the same thing. Okay, so this is from a long time ago, from our our length we were talking about. Not that length, Dirty Pigs. Length of the show. And that would be Crime and Punishment. Thank you. Oh my gosh. So funny. Oh, excellent. I appreciate it, Rick. Yeah, it's so weird. Since I'm broadcasting through my software, I'm not on the YouTube website. The software doesn't allow me to see anything about the likes or whatever. So fantastic. Oh, great, man. Wow. And with that's a lot, Micah. That's a lot. That's a lot more than the crowd size. So the live crowd size. So that's fantastic. Great. Thank you. I do a few giveaways, really build subs. You know what? I'm aware. Here's the thing, number one Marvel fan. So I've done it. But what I felt is I look, I do this for fun, right? Hopefully to entertain, provide some entertainment, not only for myself, but for other people. But what I really, really love, and these guys are tired of hearing me say it, what I really, really love, that it has really worked out to be a channel where no matter what type of show we do, whether it's roundtable with 4 people or one-on-one with one guest, or just a show and tell with a guest and talking more about art, whatever kind of show we've done, the goal was just keep it really relaxed and loose as much as possible. Make it feel more like a hangout for comic collectors. So anybody and everybody who wants to come by, drop by, and just chill on a Sunday night and, shoot the breeze. We have a lot of laughs because most of us know each other, and it makes it a lot more fun as well, And so because of that, when I did some giveaways, all except one, I did because I as a thank you to the people who already view. You see, so they're already probably subscribers, right? So I get that doesn't really work. I didn't do it the way that most YouTubers do it. But at the same time, the reason I did that is because, first of all, I feel like my regular friends who come in, drop by and hang every week, they're as much a part of the show, right? It's part and parcel, right? They're part of the entertainment just as much as whatever is happening on screen, whoever my guests are. I tell my guests all the time, like, understand, I'm not interviewing you. We're just kind of chatting. I'll ask questions about certain things, yes, but it's not an official interview. I just wanted them to know, don't expect me to be asking you a million questions, one after another, rapid fire. It's like I want my guests to, throw things back at me, so we have a discussion, right? I want them to know I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to my friends in the chat because they're just as much a part of this as I am and as you are, and because of that, I feel like we're all in this together. We're all of us together are what makes these Sundays fun. And so that's why when I've done the giveaways, I felt like, you know what? I'd rather, if I'm going to give something away, I'd rather do it and give it to people who are more than likely going to be somebody who comes here every week and contributes to the fun of what we're doing, And only one time did I do a giveaway where I did send them an email to my mailing list and mention that, okay, only, you have to be subscribed and you have to hit the like button and, blah, blah, blah. And yes, that week, maybe I got 20 extra subscribers or whatever. But the problem with that, the reason I don't like that is because when you do the giveaway, then there's a good chance that the art goes to somebody who potentially never comes and hangs out here and contributes to the show, right? And at the same time, those new viewers, the new subscribers, a lot of them only subscribed because they wanted to try to win the freebie, right? And so does it matter to have 20 extra subscribers if these are people that never come by and have fun with us? You know what I mean? So that's kind of my view on the whole thing, you know? Yeah, I'm no longer trying to get like, oh, I want 1,000 or I want thousands of subscribers or whatever. You know, I'd like to get more because I know that, you know, I currently have, like, I think before I went live, I think it was 369. I think the number is, right? So I know that there are somewhere in the vicinity of, I feel, just based on other content, like on Comic Art Live, when you see the total numbers of, you know, live plus rewind views, you know, it's in the upper hundreds, right? So if there's that many people that have at least some interest in watching this type of content, right, about original art, then I figure that's kind of where I want to be eventually. So I'm at 369 now. So if I eventually get to like 700 or, you know, 750 or something in that sort of neighborhood, and knowing that most of the viewers do check out a lot of the content, that's what makes me happy. I'd rather have a smaller number of subscribers, but with a larger percentage of them who actually watch the stuff, you know, rather than having 10,000 subscribers, but only 700 ever watch. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. But thanks for the advice. I'm aware, but thank you. And use chopsticks like She-Hulk. Okay, I mean, this is now going back a ways. Happy New Year to you too. Thanks, man. Sorry, I'm really late with the comments because I've been talking too much. See, that's what's hard. That's why this is what I'm trying to say. If I have somebody in here, there's another Comic Art L notification. Okay, sorry for the getting distracted. But that's the thing that makes it hard. That's why it's nice to have somebody here with me. Because then while they're talking, then I can keep up with the comments a lot more easily, you know? So there we go. So Berkey does bag everything with that blue marker writing. Oh, okay. So even the stuff that's in the bin that you have to flip through like a comic bin, as long as they're bagged, okay, then it's not so bad. It's only bad though when if the bin gets emptied out, right? Then they sag. So that's not good either. So let me see. Okay, you guys are making a few jokes to each other. You'll have to reread all of the comics you have original art to and look for the Cree. Yeah, it ain't ever gonna happen, Mike. Ain't ever gonna happen. That's funny. Should be for Starfire. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Do I really want to take the hours that it's gonna go through to go through all my Titans pages? Careful, because you got to look at it slowly to make sure you don't miss anything panel by panel. Nah, it's never gonna happen. I'd rather it just be missing, whatever, you know. But I should say that it's also kind of stuck inside that little plastic container I put it in. I tried picking it out before when I showed it to you guys, and a piece broke off. It's like brittle now, and it seems to be stuck to the plastic. So whatever. Nanya, how many scans for your Sojourn cover? Gosh, I don't remember. But given the size, I don't remember the dimensions in terms of the numbers, the actual dimensions. I was looking at it today in my daughter's room, though. I want to say that one is probably 4. Yeah, that's probably because of the width as well. So yeah, that would take 4 scans for that one. Marcus or Cree could be for the Barry Bonds comic where he's done with the clear. Looking for the cream. I always wonder if, like, you know, you and I, we almost always get each other's jokes, right? I always wonder sometimes though if there's people who are not getting these things. That one should be pretty obvious though. I mean, unless you're only like 20 years old, I would think, you know. That's funny, and Nanya loves it. Balco issue 1. Good one. Love it. See, that's the thing, Nanya. I hope that you could continue to come in more often, whenever you can, and participate. This is what I love. You started coming in recently, and all of a sudden, even you you get to see how loose and cool everybody is, and just laid back and relaxed, and you start getting in on the fun, you know. And that's what makes this type of show, and that's what makes my channel fun. Like I believe we've all made it together, you know. So that's fantastic. Yeah, love it. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. I hope to keep seeing you here. Hashtag love the collector. Oh, I don't know what I said to make you say that, but thank you. Maybe we're on the same wavelength with the cream in the clear. The Ruben, the no free giveaway. I have done several free giveaways. You know that, Rick. You've been here, other than in the recent couple of weeks there where you weren't able to come by. I think you've been at every other one of my shows. So, you know, I did some giveaways. But I just feel like, yeah, do I really want to give away to people who are just strangers, who are just here to get the free giveaway and then I'll never see them again? Nah, I and yes, I get that that's the point of getting subscribers. It's just that for me, that's not the kind of subscriber I want. So I'd rather have the slower subscriber growth, but make it people who are into what we're into, right? So that's it. I don't know what you're laughing at, because I'm getting to you late, but thank you. Lifetime supply of Cheetos, hashtag. Yes, I'll have a War of 18-tone quiz at the end of hour 7. No. Well, I think we'll be finishing up here. Let me just see let me catch up to all the comments real quick, and we'll probably wrap it up, because I only just noticed I thought it was still short of 2 hours, and we just passed the 2-hour mark. So I want to make this a shorter episode. So let me catch up to the final comments here. Always shake. Nice, exactly. Well, at least for now, it's certainly clean. I can't promise in the future, but no, we're good. I ever since COVID, you should know, I have gotten into the habit of washing my hands a lot. Now, before COVID, I still feel I washed my hands more than the average person, anyways, because I don't like getting sick, and so I for that reason, I tried washing a little bit more often than most people. But yeah, ever since COVID, a lot more. It's good, because I haven't gotten a cold, I haven't gotten sick or a cough since pre-COVID. So it just goes to show when our parents and doctors told us, wash your hands if you don't want to get sick, yeah, especially if you have kids. Yeah, it really does work. Wash your hands often, have everybody in the house washing often. It works well, for sure. So let's knock on wood and hope that keeps up. Cheers to all again. The answer is going to be Aunt May. No, the Maple Wars, much more interesting. Nice. Stanley's back. Do you have any desire to rep more artists? What are the joys of repping? Jesus, I knew you would do that, because you want me to stay longer. You're always the guy who wants me to stay longer. I'm gonna make I can't stay longer, because nobody else other than you wants me to stay. And then, like I said, my views, my rewind views. Oh my God, Stanley, go check out. You're on my channel already, so go check out the episode I did with Hart. The last episode I did with Hart. What was it? A couple of weeks back. I think it was that the week before Christmas, I believe. But check out the one with Hart, right? The one-on-one with Hart. It doesn't. It's still like, I think I got 170 or 180 total views. Where most one-on-ones, which also have been kind of down lately, with the newer collectors, the younger, newer collectors. I guess because people want to typically rather see people they know who've been around longer, but they have at least 200 plus. One of them with Simon K, that one had 400 plus, but the one with Hart has like 1 something. And it's because we went, I think that episode, yeah, that was my record length episode. That episode went 3 hours, 9 minutes, 47 seconds or something. So 3 hours, 9 minutes. It beat my previous record length show by 2 minutes. And I paid the price on views. A lot of people just say, fuck it. Like, I can't be bothered. Which is weird though, because you would think Rewind people are still, you would think, okay, just rewind, fast forward through it, stop here and there, fast forward, But some people, they just get so discouraged that they're like, what, 3 hours and 12 minutes? Ugh, forget it. And they move on, right? So, but I'll answer your question. So do I have any desire to rep more artists? It's a trick question for me. Yes and no. Could I? I have the time. I have the ability to do it. But I'm very particular as to the type of people I want to get, especially at this stage of my time in the hobby. There's a lot of personalities out there, Stanley, a lot of different personalities. If I could have, I don't want to get like some, a lot of these guys, you see some of these reps, they have 70 or 80 people. And I get it. I get why, because you got to get 60 or 70 just to hope to get 8, 9, or 10 good ones. And by good, I don't mean popular names and hot guys. No. In the repping game, a good artist is somebody who just works consistently, meets deadlines always, and works consistently, always has a book to sell. If I could get guys like Mike Perkins, right? If I could get 9 other guys, 11 other guys for an even dozen who are like him, I would love to do it. Okay. But I don't do it because I don't travel. And these days, not that travel means anything, but that it does kind of hurt. I'm not interested in traveling to set up at shows for artists. So I'm strictly online. So that's one thing. Now, some artists don't mind being repped by somebody who's only online, and that's fine, right? That would work good for me. But at the same time, sadly, a lot of them are very flaky. You guys know how artists can be. A lot of them, they will burn the rep immediately, like just to save, somebody, some other guy comes along and tries to poach them, oh, I'll do it for 1% less or whatever it is, And some of these guys will be like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going with you. And they screw their current dealer, right? And art rep and just to save a point, as if the relationship meant nothing, What did that person bring to the table? It seems to have meant nothing. So, So bottom line is, most representatives, they got their artists, the majority of their artists, through word of mouth from other artists. So you get your first 1 or 2, and then they hang out with other artists at conventions. They tell their artist friends, hey, well, you should go with my guy if you need somebody. And, and it just snowballs from there. But Mike was never a guy who went to conventions a lot in those early years. He did 2 or 3 per year, His buddies in the hobby are not guys who do the convention circuit. So there was nobody that he could recommend to me. He and Andrew Hennessy both came in with me at the same time. And I had Mel Ruby at one point, but then he left the comic book business. I had Mel. I got Mel, some of you may remember, when Nikki B hired him to do the relaunched Red Sonja series in 2007, when Nick got the license to get to do Red Sonja comics. And so, I had him for the duration of his Red Sonja run, for the follow-up Spider-Man Red Sonja miniseries that Nikki put out, and then for another couple of issues that he did with Dynamite. But then he left the industry, went to do video game design, and never came back. And so I still had his art for several years after he left, but ultimately felt, we both agreed that it was time to let me send you back your art, and that's it. And, at a certain point, after that many years, there's nobody else is buying the Red Sonja art that's left over, all the best pieces were gone by then anyhow. So that's the thing. As for what are the joys, I guess the first joy you can say is you get, when the art comes in, you get to look at it and again, touch it, feel it, tactile, right? We flip through it, you get to enjoy looking at a lot of original art in your hands. But there's pros and cons. And one of the cons is, if you're a big collector, if you're sort of easily attracted to art, I can honestly tell you, I love Mike's art and I own a lot of it, but I can honestly say that I would very likely have not owned as much as I do if I had never repped him. So if I had had to go through another person who was the rep all these years, I would not have as big of a Mike Perkins collection. So I guess in short order, what I'm trying to say is that, yes, at least for me, speaking only for myself, when I rep somebody, I'm much more apt to want to buy stuff from them, because it's when it's right there in your hands, it never looks quite as good as when it's right there in your hands. And when you know that, hey, I don't have to have it shipped to me, pay shipping, wait for the shipping to happen, send somebody money, I mean, I got to send Mike money, but I got to send him sales money anyways, right? So yeah, so yeah, pros and cons, like I said. So there you go. Mike, what are you saying? Give away a mint condition trade paperback. Yeah, but you know what? What a pain. I'd rather give away art, even though it's more expensive, just because it pains me. Like Marcus said, I think it was last week. Marcus, last week, because Marcus sent me was lovely enough to send me a Christmas gift, which is. It's right here, Mark. I don't want to knock it over, but I have it here in front of me on a stand now. And he said himself, right? It's like you're shipping into Canada. A comic book, especially because it's protected with plastic and all that, right? CGC, it's heavier, and so because of dimensions and that little extra weight coming into Canada, it's just ridiculous how much it costs. So and the same thing for me to ship out of the country. I'd rather ship art than a trade paperback. The trade paperback will cost me at least as much as the art, maybe a little more. Yeah. So there you go. So Neil, Happy New Year! Look at that. Neil comes in. 2023 goal is to get a Mike Perkins piece of art. I thought that was going to happen 2022, man. But let's see what happens in 23. And Mike says, if you focus, dare I say, hoarded, Comic Art Boston will say hoarded for sure. A single series, finding the word balloon would be easier. Something like, for example, like what would you mean, for example? Kind of like as if, I don't know, off the cuff, like you mean like if somebody collected preacher art, let's say, right? Something like that. Then, then it might be easier. Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't realize that Vivian had said bye-bye. Okay, good night, honey. Hi, Neil. Comic Art Boston. Okay, saying take care. Okay. And hey, Boston. Hi, Neil. Okay, guys, I'm trying to catch up now so we can close this down. Thanks, Cam. Okay, understand that for letter word balloons. Look at that. Even Nanya says goodbye, Vivian, or likewise to you, Vivian. I don't know if you heard that. She said, thank you. Your cloning experiments of Perkins failed because you didn't wash your hands before. Ooh, I almost grabbed it with my left. Too much Cheeto dust contamination. Yeah. Oh, coffee came back. What's up, bro? Yeah, man, we're just chilling, sitting back. And I got to admit, as much as I always want to shut the shows down, once I notice, we've hit like a little bit past 2 hours. Lately, it's been really weird. Okay, yes, I can tell you guys that I've been losing out on rewind viewers. That's true because of how long the shows go. So I'm losing out on rewind viewers, which I don't want to lose, to be honest. I really appreciate those people. But I really, really love the live viewers more, because without us, the rewind people don't have anything to watch, So you guys are the extra special guys, right? For me, in my eyes. And so Kavi, I got to tell you, you missed it later. I don't know if you're still listening or not, but although my rewind views have been going down, lately, over the last month or a little bit more, the live viewers numbers, it keeps going up later into my show. So the longer I go, the numbers climb, which is weird. And these guys tend to be sticking around longer, which is a really great sign. It means those are more dedicated viewers, guys that want to hang out and chat and listen and, just nothing better to do. Let's just have a good time together, which is my goal. That's the whole goal in all this. So, and that's why I keep them going sometimes, because I'm like, yes, okay, we're at, for example, right now, 2 hours, 20 minutes. And yes, I am gonna shut it out. Once I get to these last few comments. But yeah, when it was 2, I wanted to shut it down, 2 hours. But then we kept talking because I noticed that the people were still hanging out. I'm like, if these guys want to hang out, like I said, it's the live viewers that mean everything to me. So, or the most, at least, So as long as they keep wanting to hang out, then I'm like, why should I shut it down if, just because it's going to go long? Who cares? I mean, because I personally don't care if it goes long. I've only ever been worried about it because of the lost views on Rewind. So, it's always a hard thing that I'm torn, being pulled in both directions with, But yeah, ultimately, I just love to chat about the hobby. I love to chat with friends. And that's really, I got to prioritize it. I feel like lately that's what I've been thinking. I see the viewers still maintaining or going up even as the show goes longer. I'm like, that's telling me these guys want to be here and continue and to hang out, So that's it. And that's why I keep going. But okay. And thank you again. Once again, I know I always say this, but let me say it again. Thank you to all of you. Not only Rewind, but of course, especially you guys who show in week in, week out. Even those of you who only come in once in a while, but still participate when you do show up by commenting, like Nanya. I hope you become more of a regular fixture here with the rest of us. Yeah, man, that's what makes it all, and that's what makes it so fun and great. Mark, I sent you an art piece of him as one of those sexy French ladies. No, I'm afraid not. I wish. Sketch cards ship easier. That is very true. That's true. Even to a different country. Yeah, that's a lot easier. That's for sure. Oh man, I hope you. Yeah, sorry, I'm so behind on the comments. You probably already tapped out and left. But thank you, Jason. Enjoyed the chat with you as well. Thanks as well. Always, I really really appreciate you. And like I said last week, I'd like to get you on hopefully soon. I want to do a roundtable again. So hopefully you'd be up for that. And yeah, we'll talk about that. And I know you'll be back next week anyways. Kavi, my buddy Kavi is going to be here next week. Here he is. Yo. Dad just went to bed, so I'm awake and doing nothing. Nice. Perfect timing. Most of the people are still here. Like it only peaked at 3. We're only 3 viewers less than at the peak. So yeah. So that's awesome. Sketch cards would be very wrong if they were self-portrait. Happy New Year, Kavi. There you go. You know that you are ultimately responsible for all of this. Yeah, he is. And I'll blame him for that live next week when he's on the show. There we go. We're all friends. That's what it's all about, man. Mike, try chopping your videos into 60-minute segments and label them. Believe me, Mike, I'm aware of all of that. Yes, I'm aware. It's just I haven't had the time. I have to learn how to do that. It's going to take another bunch of time to learn how to do that all. But yes, that is my intent. That is my intent eventually. Yes, Marcus. Yes, same thing I just told Mike. Same thing exactly. I'm going to wrap up my foods, Girl Scout, Stone. Okay, he's sending private messages to Kavi. Well, public but personal, I guess. Marcus, quit copying my ideas. Nice. 23 will be on my food. Okay. Geeks and Drinks. There's a guy who doesn't come here. He's not here every week. I enjoy watching live, but do so on my TV so I don't comment on my phone. Oh, okay. Hey, thank you then for taking the time and making the effort to do it at least this one time. Okay? Because most Rewind people, I understand, right? It's laziness. You just you watch, you sit there and you're just, oh yeah, and you be entertained and you don't want to move, So taking the time and the effort to at least make this one comment and let me know that's awesome. Please don't hold it against me if I forget that you said this, especially if you don't come in every week. But good to see. I always love seeing new names, especially when they take the time to chat. It tells me you feel comfortable enough with the friendliness of everybody. You could tell that we're all friends here, and it lets you know that hey, I don't have to feel shy about saying something or chiming in or something, So I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. And my food, you guys are talking a lot about my food mania. Amazing Vegas show back again in April. We'll see you. Okay. Now these guys are like talking amongst themselves. David. So just to throw this out in a group setting, oh boy, Dave's going to want it. He's trying to keep the show going. Does anyone have any Paul Abrams they are okay to part with? Okay, well, that's an easy one. Anybody looking? Contact David. I'm looking for a Paul Abrams Helena piece. Yeah, contact them. We will. Next week, we will. And we got sorry. Dave Matheny, okay. Oh, okay, good. Thanks for helping out there, Rick. See, that's what I love also. Everybody's not only friendly, but always helpful to help other people in need when they chime in and looking for help. So that's really, really cool. And another reason why I don't mind when the shows go so long, just because it's fun, at least for the 25 or 35 of us that show up. It's just a fun time for like a 2-3 dozen collectors to shoot the breeze once a week, man. It's man. It's fun. And if we shoot the breeze for 2-3 hours, to me, it feels like the time goes quickly anyway. So I'm good. I already have, and I purchased. Okay, excellent. Okay, perfect. And Kavi Geeks and Drinks is. I know that because I know the name. I was like, yeah, that's in my head. I was like, that's a Kavi guy. That's a Kavi guy. But I don't remember his real name. I may not even. I'm not even sure if I ever knew his actual name. But that's okay. I appreciate him being here and with you, Kavi, only in the chat, not even on screen. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So you should get him on sometime. Great collection of carnage art. I'd be happy to. If he's up for it, I'm always looking for new. Happy to have new people, especially younger guys, newer guys in the hobby. In this case, it would be a guy who's still, I'm assuming, since he's one of your crew, what I call a comic guy first, who then got into art and is still into buying comics. Yeah, man. Just because it's something different, right? That most of us who are primarily or strictly comic art guys, we don't we hang out with ourselves and not really with guys who are into buying variant covers or CGC books or whatever, so to have the perspective of an art collector who is still primarily a comic guy, that's something different. So it's a kind of thing that I'm definitely into. So if Geeks and Drinks, if you're still looking and you're interested, I would say please email me, get in touch so we could talk. I'm trying to fill some spots, guys. Before I close down, let me just show you this. Where the hell is it? I'm sorry. Sorry. Here, I'm gonna hold on. There we go. Where is it? The one-on-one with Kavi. That's next week. So next week, guys. Fritos are flying out of my mouth now. Next week, guys, take a look at this. For those of you who are not subscribed, if you're subscribed, you would see this. You would have gotten notified to seeing this. The 9th episode of Comic Art One-on-One. Okay, that's my cool rad buddy, Kavi H. And we will be streaming at the same time as usual, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific next week. Okay, a week from tonight. And I'm currently trying to fill out the spots for the rest of the month. So the week after that, I think I just got I believe Mickey Anamantadu, for those of you who, most of you know him. Mickey says he's always watching, but quietly and not typing anything. He's just listening. So Mickey, if you're there, chime in and prove that you're usually here listening. I love putting people on the spot. So it's not 100% confirmed, but it looks like it probably will be. And it might be if we can quickly get 2 more guys, we may turn it into a roundtable. So we'll see. It may turn out to be a roundtable. But even if we can't get the 2 guys, Mickey, I believe, has said that he will still come on and shoot the breeze with me and with you guys. So that'll be fun. I love Mickey, known him a long time too. So again, it's always fun to do a mixture of newer people in the hobby that I don't know as much, and mixed in with guys that I know very well, for a long time. So yeah. So but beyond that, that would be what we're looking at. Next week is the 8th. So Mickey would be for the 15th. So yeah, anybody want to do be a part of a roundtable or want to come in one-on-one and just hang with me in the studio while we chat with everybody else in the live chat. I'm looking to fill out for Sunday the 22nd and the 29th, and then we're suddenly already in February. So 22nd, 29th. So anybody want, you can always reach out to me for that. It would be nice to get to the point to where I don't have to ask that often, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. But it'd be nice if at least occasionally people would email me and say, "Hey, I'd like to talk about this. Would you be willing to have me on?" And we can, yeah, I'd love to have that. Yeah, I'd be able to schedule more things further out more often, Okay, so Kavi is talking. Yes, well, he's known as the Don Dada. So Kavi's definitely responsible for my OA addiction. Okay, that's good. Now let me catch up to the other comments. Nanya is like, Kavi from CGC boards? No, not him. Okay. On CAF as Kavi H though. Okay. What did the battery say to the potato chip? If you're ever ready, I'm Frito-Lay. What? What a whack job. Oh man. That's a new one, Rick. Like, you're always good with the quips. All right. You're one of the most tenured veterans of my channel. And you're always here. You're always here with the quips. You're always good with the quips. But now you're getting to the point of telling those cheesy type jokes we used to tell each other when we were in grade school. That's awesome. I love it. David, I'm down to do a show with Mickey where I just stare in awe at all of his Supergirl art. Well, I will say, David, a lot of the shows, like tonight, but even with guests, oftentimes we just like to chat. I ask the guest, do you want to show art or do you just want to come in and hang and chat about the hobby? So I kind of leave it up to them. And if they say we'll show some art, maybe we can show 10 pieces or something like that. But I still prefer that we all have, more conversation to carry the show. But I like to have some episodes where we don't show any art, and just sort of talk and, but David, why don't you, yeah, where is it here? Yeah. Right at the bottom of that message, David, why don't you email me there at rubenthecollector@gmail.com, just so I can have your email on file. And yeah, we'll talk about having you on, man. Yeah, email me now or after the show tonight. Yeah, we can talk. Because I wouldn't mind, maybe we can discuss maybe doing you alone if you want, or with Mickey, whatever. But yeah, we can talk. Email me. I gotta figure out the Mickey episode soon because it's coming in 2 weeks. So, and I don't like the feeling of stress that I feel when I have only something scheduled for next week and nothing else beyond that. It gets stressful, and this is supposed to be fun, so I don't like to feel that stress. And that's why, if possible, I like to try to find guests as quickly as possible so I can schedule out at least 4 or 5 weeks, But please email me if you're serious about that. Anyways, any Super Bowl Sunday show? I got to tell you, I don't know what's going to happen then because I've never missed. I mean, I can't remember the last time I missed a Super Bowl. I think what I was thinking about doing is maybe doing a show that day and making it like an afternoon kind of type thing, you know, or holding it to like 2 hours. Let's say we decide 2 hours or 1 hour or whatever, and schedule it so that it ends, you know, right on time for the beginning of the scheduled Super Bowl time, you know, because I'm definitely not going to miss the game. I definitely will watch the game. So, well, I'll try to figure that out. Yeah. And can you get Duke Flea back on? You and him are very entertaining. Well, thank you, I guess. You know, he said Stanley, he said that he doesn't really like to do these things, and he only does them because people ask him. So he's willing to do it if you ask, but he says he doesn't really like it. But I, you know, he's my friend, and I have actually wanted to have him on alone by himself, just him and me. Yeah, just because he's very opinionated, and it makes for interesting conversation, you know. So you never know. You never know. His setup isn't great though. He's always hooking up with his cell phone. That's the thing I hate about when we have web chats, me and him together privately. He's always on, using his phone. Even though I got him to buy a camera, a regular webcam, I don't know why he doesn't use it. He always just uses his phone, and he's always on the move. He wants to be on the move. I don't know, whatever. Although when he did my first roundtable, as part of that Canadian Collectors Roundtable, I do believe he did use his webcam, if I'm not mistaken on that. So yeah, maybe I can convince him to come on by himself at some point soon, and get the webcam going. Sure, but yeah, I'll let him know that somebody requested him, Stanley. He's gonna be like surprised. He's gonna be like, "What?" I'm sure of it. And yeah, he can be pretty funny. Yeah. Excellent, David. Thank you so much. And apologies for the need to check out now. Happy New Year once again. Sorry I got to you late. Comic Art Boston. Thanks as always. Once again, Happy New Year's to you too. All the best, especially for health, okay, going forward. And we'll talk soon. All right, thank you. Thank you for staying in so long today. Thank you so much. I missed you a lot the last few weeks, so thank you. And pregame show. Well, I personally can do without, like, if I'm like, okay, before I started this channel, yeah, I would sit there and I'd probably watch the pregame show. Now, if you're making a joke, kind of like this show will be the pregame show to the football, then yeah, it would kind of that's kind of what I'm thinking, you know? Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And okay, so we're catching up finally. The last couple of messages, what are they? Okay, it's a good day for the Pats. Thank you, Maki Poo. And Marcus says, "What? Get number one Groove fan while you're at it." Right, Duke Fleed and number one Groove fan. Excellent. It'll be the three of us. Yeah, actually, no. Today I saw Duke Fleed. It still has the Duke Fleet, so it's Duke Fleet, aka number one Groove fan. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. So you're just saying that your show could be the pregame show, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I just got to get guests. I got to get people to want to come on and just hang out. The more people I can get, the faster I can get them, the quicker it'll be so much easier to just schedule shows, you know? But all right, so let's leave it there, guys. Ruben's the odds maker. Thank you all again so much. Really appreciate you. Wow, right to the end. Seriously, a 2-hour, 38-minute show. It's still, you know, pretty much in line with the long versions we get, and literally still only about 4 people missing from its peak. And it keeps fluctuating here on my end, so 4 or 5, yeah, four people missing. Like, so solid viewership. That's what I love. That most of the live viewers over the last month and a half or so, I've noticed steady. They stay steady throughout the majority. That means that, you know, my closer friends and even a few of the not as close friends are just making it a habit to come by, drop in. You're getting you're getting in the habit of believing and understanding what I'm saying when I say it's more of a hangout than an interview thing, right? It's just come in, hang, and just have some laughs and a good time, you know? Yeah, man. JC, oye, ¿cómo va? Padilla. Cheers to you, JC. This is like getting warm now. It's been here for over 2 hours, but cheers. Thank you for dropping by. You always love hearing all the different collectors' opinions here. Thanks, Ruben and guys. Thank you so much for always dropping in and checking it out. And JC, if you're still there, let me know. Put a comment real quick. Let me know if you would be willing ever to come on with me and hang with me like in the studio. Let me know, man. I'd love to have you. Let me know in the comments quick, because if the answer is yes, and I'll tell you, if the answer is yes, tell me yes. And also, just email me here, rubenthecollector@gmail.com. Okay? If the answer is yes. I would love to have you. Yeah, I appreciate you being here all the time. Even though you don't you do more of the listening than the participating in the chat, but that's great. The fact that you're here live, it means a lot to me, man. So thank you so much. And yeah, hopefully I'd love to have you here if you're ever willing to come on. Ruben the prop better. Death is coming. Cheers all, Jeff. Cheers to you, my friend. Thank you for checking it out as always. Really appreciate it. Yeah, see you. What's D DACA? Happy New Year's to you. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Ricky, Happy New Year. Wish everyone to stay prosperous. Yeah, likewise from me as well. That behind the camera. All right, man. No worries. No worries. If you ever change your mind, man, we can, we can talk even like privately. I can kind of fill you in on what it's like. We can do a web chat with my software so you see what it feels like if you're interested privately. Nobody will see us, just you and me, and you'll see it looks the same as if we were live. But thank you. I appreciate you, man. Hey, Richie! Man, did you just come in? Or were you here already? You usually will say something, as you must have just come in. But Happy New Year to you, my friend. Thank you so much. And there, Richie, you're another guy I haven't had on yet. There's another longtime friend of mine. Rich, baby, you gotta come on with me. So let me know. Maybe I'll email you, or maybe you email me. And cool, JC. No worries, man. No pressure, by the way. Okay, I'm being serious, but no pressure. Don't worry. I appreciate it. You could stay behind the scenes if you want. No worries, man. But I appreciate you. Yeah, Rich. Let's talk. I'd like to. Maybe I should email you. Maybe I'll send out an email. Because I might get Mickey. Maybe I can have you and Mickey on, and David. And boom, if you all say yes, boom, there's a round table we got. Okay, cool. Double down on cap art. Cap art? Why cap art? Hey, speaking of cap art, Alberto didn't come in today. Oh well. Yeah, you know me. The long goodbye. Yes, sir, Kavi. So everybody, don't forget to come back. My God, but look, Kavi, check it out, dude. 27, bro. 27. We're only 2 off from the peak. Okay, that's what I don't get. Like, and that's only recent, like in the last month and a half. So it's very encouraging, like I said, because that tells me people still keep coming in no matter how late it's going, and they hang out and they stick around. So that's amazing. So thanks to all of you guys who do that, man. I can't thank you enough. Really, it's so cool. Yeah, thank you. And all right, Rich, sounds good. I'll email you. You know what? Before I let you go, let me just check real quick in my Gmail. Let me see, Rich. You know what, Rich? Maybe you can. I don't remember what your email is. So if you don't mind, email me. Okay, here. Email. Sorry, here really quick, everyone. Yeah, Rich, if you're still there, email me ASAP at rubenthecollector@gmail.com, please. Okay. Yeah, and if I don't hear you or see you do that, then I'll figure it out. I'll reach out to you either on CAF or whatever. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, everybody, thanks again. Thanks all. Take care. Nanya, appreciate you. Stanley, do 5-hour shows, please. Yeah, I'm sure. I appreciate it. Okay. Thanks, Rich. Please do email me. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate it, Make Pupu. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I can't believe I forgot to mention that it was really, really fun, especially considering I had no guest. I had to do it all by myself, plus you guys, with no prepared topics or anything, you know. So that's fantastic. And so this is what I want. It's getting better and better. I want to do more stuff like this. Yeah, you just keep showing up and participating, man, and that's what gives me the oomph to keep going with it on a weekly basis like that. Yeah. So thanks, guys. Thanks to everybody. And don't oops, I gotta take that thing off. Don't forget here, I'm going to leave you with this, the banner for next week's episode, that I'm going to be with a one-on-one with Kavi, who just left the building. All right. And yeah, 8 o'clock as usual on the East Coast, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. And that should be a lot of fun. Don't forget, to those of you, the few of you who don't know Kavi or know of him, he's the guy who is basically responsible for actually getting me into this whole YouTube thing. So great guy, good friend. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So that's it, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Happy New Year's to all of you. And we'll see you all next week. Peace.